Welcome to the Chicago Clubhouse podcast. Today we have a special guest coming on, and we're going to be talking about some Bulls, Sox, and Bears. Oh my. Let's roll it.
You are now rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse podcast, where they think they know everything, but honestly, they don't know shit.
These summer league games and they tell you about these new up and coming coaches.
I think we should get rid of every motherfucking owner in Chicago.
Enzo and Caruso, both when they are on the court, are like your defensive generals.
But they need to get that strong safety who's not scared to hit somebody.
They really don't know shit.
What up, everybody? I got my homie Grogu with me. Welcome to the Chicago Clubhouse podcast, where we think we know everything, but we really don't know shit. So, like I said earlier, we have a special guest coming on today. Our man Loki down in Mexico, Mexico. He's going to come and join us, talk a little Bears talk with us. We're going to talk about the Bulls. Yeah, I know, Grogu. The Bulls and about what's going on with them. They've been winning lately. Ever since that acquisition of Pat Beverly, Bulls have been looking pretty good. Yes, I know you're using it for us. And we might have a special guest that may log on and talk to us a little bit about a kicker may talk about a kicker. So, without further ado, let's get this thing rolling. Let's bring on the dream team. First of all, I like to sit up there and bring in the member, the stat man, that knows all the stats from the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. Stat man, JB. Anytime now.
What up, City?
Man, Frank must be, I don't know, man. Frank on to start the beer early or something, man. It's a little late, man. He got Grogu over here. He talking more than I am.
Right. What's good with you though, fam?
Man, I'm doing good. How you feeling?
You know what? I'm feeling all right, man. Just, shouts and love and prayers still go out to our brother T Nick, just still really concerned,
Yeah,
about that brother, love that brother dearly and stuff. So, just been putting things into perspective, man, what's important, family, love, you know what I'm saying, just life and general and stuff, man. And then just, dabbling a little bit and seeing what's going on in Chicago sports media, some things I don't like that I've been hearing, some things that are just kind of, you got some naysayers out there that were talking about, I don't know if you had heard it, it was a hot take about, do you trade Justin Fields and the 2 number 1s for Lamar Jackson? So I do want to touch on that a little later. I thought that was kind of like, what? But
yeah, I'm not going with that.
You know how people talk. It wouldn't be a hot take if people didn't, talk.
Not at all. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just enjoying the nice weather. I think it's supposed to be getting even nicer later on during the week. I think we got some rain or maybe even some snow coming.
That's tomorrow.
Then after that, it's supposed to get a little bit better. Impressed by some of these wins that the Bulls have been pulling off while they try to hang on to that play-in spot.
They were, I know they're 7-3 in their last 10, but there was something I want to say, were they like 12-5 or 12-6 in their last something like that in the last 16, 17 games. It's something the streak since Pat Beverly where they're like playing some of the best basketball in the East right now.
Yeah, definitely. And I know all those Zach LaVine, he should be traded haters out there. They're eating all that good ass crow right now. So I don't want to hear shit from them. They can shut up. But let's bring in the man, Frank the Tank.
I think the problem is I didn't get a drink to get in JB in, so maybe that's what it is.
Oh, that's
Slowing
what it
me
is.
down.
Huh?
That might be the problem here. I'm gonna
That's
have to
what
run
it
and
is.
get a drink in a second. What's
Yeah.
up, guys?
You brought yourself in on time, though.
I did. I realized I messed up on that one.
Yeah, you brought yourself in on time.
Sometimes
Frank,
you just zone
you're a
out.
funny guy.
You zone out sometimes. It happens. Oh, yeah. Those Bulls, I mean, they played like shit yesterday, though.
I didn't get a chance to see the game, but it looked like it really wasn't.
Defensively, that was a horrible game yesterday.
Right. But remember, they just came off like a really big high beating the Lakers
They did.
Sunday. So.
And I'm hoping they're going to knock your Lakers out of the playoffs. Only because I want them to knock LeBron out of the playoffs.
I don't even root for the Lakers as long as LeBron is on there. I hope they lose everything until he's gone.
Very true. Yeah. I hope that soon.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I was reading that shit earlier too about Justin Fields. Just shut up.
Yeah, you saw that? Like I was like,
shut up. Like I mean, maybe the Ravens should trade us their 2 first-round picks to take on somebody who wants like $250 million guaranteed when we still got Justin Fields, the same exact type quarterback on a rookie contract. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. But,
not at all. It's kind of crazy what they be talking about. And then who brings this shit up?
Sports mockery.
But then I was going to say, it's something where, you feel like somebody planting seeds just to see, and then somebody
get attention.
Oh, wait a minute, that might be a good idea. And then some expert could run with it and tell you like 10 reasons why it is a good idea, as opposed to like really, really knowing football.
It's the Stephen A. Smith and Nick Wright routine. Like, I mean, that's what they do. And that's what other people try to do on the side too. Make up bullshit.
Hey, one thing about media, we know they love drama.
Yep.
That's what sells. The drama sells. That's just like watching the news. Turn on the news is always about somebody getting their ass robbed, somebody getting killed, something negative happening. It brings
Justin Fields, and we should trade Justin Fields. Just add that to it.
Yeah. Well, that's negative as well.
Yeah.
So I wonder, is our guest backstage?
He is backstage.
Is he ready?
He is ready. I see him. He's ready.
He ready.
We should get that in here. That's a good one. I might try to get that video. Oh, damn. You just popped one up for the next show.
Hey, got to.
Bring him in, Loki.
All right, well, hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we would like to welcome Loki.
I'm back, baby.
Welcome back, Loki.
How you doing, guys? Thanks for the invitation. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you back, man. Happy to have you back.
Really happy.
Rocking out the JF1 jersey, too.
Sure, man. Sure. What is this shit about Justin Fields being traded for Lamar Jackson? I mean, every single time the stupid gets stupider, man. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, who comes up with this shit, man?
So, Loki, that's a good question, because when you listen to, certain people in the media, certain people that are just, talking Bears, I think some of them just try to stir the pot, but then others really actually think that would be a good idea. Now, without being biased, hell, who wouldn't want a former MVP, somebody that's, like, we're not saying we wouldn't want Lamar if everything was considered equal, but right now, why would you do that? Like, absolutely. You just got all these picks and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you?
If Mitch Trubisky was our quarterback right now, I'd understand it.
Yeah.
But he's not.
He's not.
If Fields has not just a high, his ceiling is just, it is so high, there's no possible way that you can give up on him. And I don't think the Bears organization ever intended on it. This was always what they wanted from the get-go, everybody to say this dumb shit, just so that number 1 pick, more and more people want it.
Sure.
And I will still truly say we got a haul for that pick, and I love that trade that we got. Now I'm hearing, just to bring it up to another one, they're looking to trade 9 to 11 possibly for an offensive lineman.
So I read that too, which
We'll see. You could still get another offensive lineman at 11.
I'm comfortable where we are right now, you know?
Me too.
Me too. I don't want to
sold.
move now. Unless there's somebody in the draft that they identified that they
love you too, Lucy.
Like, and they want to sit up there and move down a little bit further to get that particular player, because at number 9, that will probably be too high for them. You know, but it depends on what are you getting back? What type of compensation are you getting back for that number 9 pick? I mean, are we getting we trading a pick like what you say, the number 11 or 12, whichever one it is?
9 to 11. And okay. I think a 3rd round draft pick was possibly in it too.
Nah, I did not.
But it was for a 27-year-old Pro Bowl offensive tackle.
From where?
I can't even remember who it was. Who's at 11 right now?
I don't remember.
I can't remember the team. It's driving me nuts.
I don't have my phone on me right now.
No, but no, 11 is the Titans.
Oh, it was the Titans. Okay, and it was their offensive tackle.
And we already traded with them, so it would be kind of foolish to.
Very true.
So you're going to give us your offensive tackle, and was it who was their offense? Was it Taylor Lewan, like somebody like that?
Nah, they cut. I think they're cutting Taylor Lewan. He's cut already.
Oh, they did cut him.
Yeah, I think they already cut Taylor Lewan. They either already cut him or they're going to cut him.
Okay, because I was gonna say because remember he got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt. He's been hurt like the last 2 years.
Right. So I was like, to trade for him, because then if that was the case, we should have traded for Eric Fisher 3 years ago when he got hurt with the Chiefs. It was, just a better fit for what the Bears are doing currently. But speak about that a little bit, Loki. Like when you're watching these things, you said you're comfortable at 9, but what if we get the offensive tackle Pro Bowl?
Just a heads up, JB. Just a heads up. We got 2 people on the Titans already this year. We got Nate Davis and we got DeMarcus Walker as well on the defensive line.
Because we got Corey Blackson. So now we're like,
yeah, we're switching from the Falcons to the Titans.
I was telling you, JB, I'm very comfortable at 9, but everything will come. Everything will depend on who are you planning to target. What do you think that it would be a fair compensation if we actually traded from 11 to 9 or from 12 to 9? What do you think that it would be a good compensation? I mean, you're talking about a Pro Bowler, a tackle. Would you be fine? I mean, but you can get Paris Johnson with that 9.
Yeah, but you never know. He is a rookie. He has a lot of high expectations.
You can get Skoronski with that 9.
Yeah.
Both of them, in my opinion, will be there.
I think Skoronski will be there at 11, though, too.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think Skoronski will be there at 11.
Here's the thing. Not so much what are we trading down to get besides the lineman and an additional, maybe like you said, 3rd round, 4th round pick. What is it that the Titans are looking to get? So you know what I'm saying? You've gotten rid of Nate Davis, then you turn around and you get rid of your Pro Bowl left tackle. Well, does that mean Derrick Henry's next? Like, what are you doing if you're the Titan? Like,
they're gutting it and they're rebuilding.
So
I think that they're going to go after Levi's, maybe.
Will Levis, that's why they want to jump up.
He might be available at 9. Yeah, he might be available.
Okay, well, I didn't think about that, right?
Yeah, I didn't think about a quarterback either, actually.
Well, let me not say that because, dang, this is going to sound bad. If you figure they're trading up to get Will Levis, that already tells you everything you need to know about Ryan Tannehill and everything you need to know about Malik Willis. Like, they're gone if you're trying to trade up to get Willis. But if you get rid of your top 2 linemen, you're not protecting Levis, and then you're putting more strain on Derrick Henry if you choose to keep him.
Yeah. There's no way if they're going to do this that they're keeping Derrick Henry. I think they're gutting it and they're rebuilding right now because they need to get into we need a quarterback routine. Derrick Henry's great, but he is not winning you a Super Bowl. Running backs don't win you Super Bowls anymore. It's how it is.
Their window, what was that? See, about 3 years ago where they lost in the AFC Championship game?
Yep. And that was when Tannehill had an absolutely monster year.
Right. He had like a Miami year.
Yeah.
And he was,
Well, he had a monster team too.
He did.
True.
Healthy team. That was his big thing. He had an extremely healthy team. And he had good wide receivers. He had good everything. that year. But that was his window.
Yeah. Now, what do you think? What do you think? What do you actually think? I mean, I would like to hear your opinions. I mean, I know it's not my show or anything, but I want to ask you. I want to ask you guys, who do you think? I mean, let's take into consideration. Let's imagine that we keep the 9th. Who would you pick there individually? Who would you like to get there?
Go ahead, Frank. I'll let you kick it off.
First. I'm all eyes with Paris Johnson, Ohio State.
Okay.
All right. I mean, he has. I've been watching tape on him too. Like he still needs some work. He's not going to come in there and be a Pro Bowl tackle for you right out of the get-go. But one thing he has, not only just length, not only long arms, but he has great footwork too. And he is going to be good. He's going to be, I mean, I know it's not saying much, but Braxton Jones is not going to be your left tackle if that's going to be the case. Braxton Jones is going to move over to the right side, and we're going to be putting Paris at the left, which I'm fine with. I'm absolutely fine with. And when it comes down to that, like, that guy is a monster. But I will say one thing too, if we decide to go defense, I still like my boy Myles Murphy. I have been saying it from day one a lot. He might be there at 11. There's word he's dropping out of the top 10 possibly.
I saw where he's jumped to the second round.
Why? He's not doing anything wrong.
It's not that he's doing anything wrong.
Not flashy. That's his thing. He's not flashy.
But other people are just, it's the underwear Olympics.
More people are putting their draft stock up at the combine, and he did good stuff at the combine, nothing special. But I don't give a rat's ass about the damn combine. Who was it? Alex Brown, who says, when we had Alex Brown on here, he just straight up said, he was like, the combine is to make sure that you show up and you show up healthy. It should not matter anything else.
Yeah.
You should not be able to lose your draft stock. And what was it, Warren Sapp, I remember a while back, who said, he's like, they don't have a bench press line on the middle of the 50-yard line during a game.
I don't know, Frank, JB Foulmouth. I don't know why people think that jumping high and running fast it's going to make you a star in the NFL.
Not football speed. It's not football speed.
It's the
you can go be a track star if you want. You can't do that when there's a 300-pound guy sitting in front.
Like, if that's the case, Usain Bolt should be the best wide receiver ever.
Hands down.
And he's not. So
a lot of people don't even know his name in the football world.
But let me touch on a point, Loki, you had just made. So with that being said, what is that really saying that the Bears feel about Braxton Jones if Paris Johnson is the pick? Because I know that's Frank's pick. We'll all go back and get our picks. But what do you think about that with Frank's pick? Because if it is, I mean, what were we really expecting from Braxton Jones when they're telling us he was a project, but then they're saying, oh, he graded out well amongst rookies. Now you're going to draft another rookie to, So what is that really saying, in your opinion, about Braxton Jones?
I don't see Braxton Jones going anywhere, man. I think he's our left tackle for good. As long as he's healthy, I think that he's going to be there, disregarding who we draft.
Okay.
That's how I feel, really. I mean, the kid, you need to see his numbers. I mean, during the season among the rookies, he was one of the best tackles in the league. I mean, I love it. And we need to take into consideration another thing. I mean, we suck at pass blocking, but our O-line was one of the best at run blocking. So I think that we need to address the issue of the defense that was a shit show last year. I would really like to go. I know that Will Anderson is not going to be there, but maybe if the Carter kid doesn't get his shit together, I think that there's a very good possibility that he's going to be there at 9. But it is a coin flip, I mean, what's going to happen with Carter? How is he going to behave? Tyree Wilson, do you think, Falmouth, that he's going to be there at 9? Is he going to go with Arizona at 3?
I don't think.
You know what's so crazy about that? It's crazy that you said that, because I was thinking about the same thing. It sort of puts you in a predicament, or puts you in a situation where, when we were talking about when the Bears had the number 1 pick, and everyone was saying that the Bears going to trade with the Colts down at the number 4. And, okay, the Bears at number 4. Now they're going to trade at number 4. Will Anderson be there, or will Jalen Carter be there? Which one of them will sit up there and be available? And that's sort of like how it is now, that since we've gone and switched, and we've gone and traded to number 9, will Tyree Wilson be there, or will he won't be there? Me personally, I don't think that they're going to go for Paris Johnson.
Okay.
I actually think that they need to, like you said, Loki, address that defensive line.
Yeah.
Because at least at the offensive line, they got pieces that they can work with. They went and
They're
signed
young,
a guard.
and they're young.
They still got one of the best young up and coming guards in the NFL in Tevin Jenkins.
Correct.
They got Braxton Jones that by the way, down the stretch played very well. You know, you expect him to have his hiccups early on in the season. He's a fucking rookie. You know, they're going to address that center position. Tell you the truth, there's a guy that everybody keep talking about, Paris Johnson. I actually like his teammate better, the right tackle. That bitch is 6'8", 370 pounds. You know how many pressures first of all, he allowed 0 sacks.
Right.
You know how many pressures he allowed throughout the whole season?
I don't have that information.
5. 6.
Why not take them both?
5.
They might slip the second round.
You go and look at, like, I'm not going to take credit for this. I had to give my cousin, Montreal Pooh, I had to give him his credit because he kept talking about the guy. When you sit up there and you look at his tape, especially his tape when they played Georgia. Mm-hmm. Now, we all know Georgia is this football factory. When I tell you this big, long son of a bitch was putting people on their ass, and I'm talking about pancaking Georgia defensive ends. He has the longest reach in NFL history in the combine. I forgot his name. His name, DeJuan Jones, something like that. He's the right tackle for Ohio.
Wait up, Frank, because I'm trying to think. Did he shoot up the draft board? Because you know,
I was already in the second round, but don't be surprised if he get taken in the first.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of names going around there. I mean, JB, how would you feel? Imagine this situation. You are watching the draft. There comes the 9th pick, and then you listen to the name from Oregon University for the Bears, Christian Gonzalez. Would you like to draft? Would you like to draft an excellent cornerback in the 9th, or there are other issues to address here?
I think there's way more issues to address than a secondary right now. That's my scare. But I mean, I think it is best available. It can be best available in a lot of positions. But I still really like Kyler Gordon if they keep him at corner.
And here's the thing. Remember, I told you all this. When they run that hybrid Tampa/cover 2, there's more nickel and 2 linebacker play than it is the traditional 4-3-2. 4-3-4. So if you're going to slate Kyler at that nickel position, I like Christian Gonzalez, but for the nickel position, I got to go with Witherspoon because of his tackling.
Okay.
You know, he can hit that hole, hit that tight end, hit that back. I got to go with him because he's proven 5 interceptions, right? But he's also proven that he doesn't miss tackles. Like, he's not going to whiff on the tackle. He's going to hit you.
Kindle Builder.
Kindle Builder, no.
Kindle Builder.
Yeah, we won't talk about that guy.
Right. But I can see, right, solidifying that secondary because here's my if I'm in the draft, if I'm in the war room, right, and I'm looking at best available. Best available at corner, depending on what you're looking for, is between Christian Gonzalez, Witherspoon, and Joey Porter Jr. Then I look at the best lineman available. It could be Paris Johnson and left tackle Skoronski, right?
Skoronski.
Then if I look at best available DN, now I'm looking at Tyree Wilson. I'm looking at Nolan Smith possibly. I'm looking at Miles Murphy. If I go interior, which I don't think they'll do because of the 2 people they just signed, which is why for my money, the Bears are going to shock somebody. And if they don't, hear me good, if they don't get Paris Johnson, then I do think they're going to get one of the corners. Because if you think of it now, I'm like, wow, did they get these 2 linemen for depth, or did they see something? Because Walker should pretty much start, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Then Dominic Robinson would be your depth, right? With Justin Jones, to me, that's where I'm concerned. But they just picked up 2 more tackles, so it's like,
yeah,
all that movement. I don't think you go right back and draft another end or another tackle. So by process of elimination, I think it's got to be either left tackle or best available player, period, which could be DB, linebacker. Because to me, Nolan Smith can play both. He can play both. And I think it's got to be somebody of that ilk because now when you're running, like I said, when you're running that cover 2 scheme, it's all about the pressure. You got to get pressure.
Yeah. Do you think that there is a twisted scenario in which we can go after Jackson Smith at 9?
I don't think we need him.
We don't need him. Our wide receiver corps is fine for you, right? As it is right now.
I agree with that. I don't think
this year, yes.
I'm good.
Because if you get Jackson this year, now are you letting Darnell Mooney go? Are you letting Claypool go? Because they're both under contract next year. With the Panthers pick plus our own, that brings into play going to get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't think you jump on Smith on JSN. I don't think you jump on him like some people were. Now I've heard stories that he's like that guy. I know he was pre-hamstring injury. He was like, I think he was touted the number 1 receiver in college football. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. He played with Garrett Wilson and them boys. So I know he can play. Do we need him right now? No.
Yeah, and one thing, and JB said it perfectly too, is we have Carolina's first-round pick next year.
Yeah.
Carolina is going to be bad. They traded away.
It's going to be one of the worst 5 teams in the NFL. I'm sure of that. This can
possibly be a top 5 pick. Yeah, this can turn into a top 5 pick next year. And like how he said, if you're going to lose Mooney or Claypool, one of them, and Marvin Harrison Jr. is on that board, man, that guy is going to be a beast when he comes out. If he can stay healthy this year.
Enlighten me a little bit, guys. I am not really aware of it. What is the contract situation right now of Byron Pringle, and N'Keal Harry, and Dante Pettis, who did it very well, by the way. Dante Pettis.
I think they all right now are probably available free agents because I don't think
really
isn't Pringle
has to get cut, but we're not losing
Pringle
anything.
Has to probably get cut because I think he may have signed for 2 years. And
he signed for 2 years
with one guarantee.
N'Keal Harry may still be a free agent, and who's the other person you said?
N'Keal Harry.
Yeah, I think he's a free agent.
Yeah, he is a free agent too.
Yeah, he's a free agent.
We just got him via trade.
The Panthers. Yeah, when we made that trade, they were looking a lot. They look like, we could possibly get a number 1 or number 5.
Yeah, they did get a lot.
Now you got to also remember now, in recent days, they're going to picked up Alan Thielen. Yep. They're going to picked up a DJ Chalk, and they signed Miles Sanders. So that possibly looking as one of the top 5 worst teams in the NFL is not looking good right now. And the reason why I sit up there and say that, because you even look at their division right now. Who in their division can you sit up there and say, like, oh, man, they're sure lock? You got New Orleans.
New Orleans is winning that division. You heard it here first.
You got
I see that now.
I see that now. I mean, like this, like
Derek Carr is Derek
Carr is going to come with a vengeance, man.
He has no.
But look at, but still, all right, even if you give him
and Kamara is back healthy next year too. Let's not forget
even if you give him,
you got to worry about going to jail.
Very true.
Is Tampa Bay skin? Who's Tampa Bay's quarterback right now?
Buddy from Florida before Richardson.
Trask, whatever his name is.
Kyle
Trask. Okay.
Okay.
Who
else is in that division?
Who would Baker Mayfield go to?
They picked up Baker, but I mean,
Baker Mayfield went to Tampa. New future star quarterback right there. We've only been saying for the past 7-8 years.
Atlanta is there too.
Kyle Trask will be starting.
It wouldn't surprise
very
me.
soon.
So who else? I mean, that's what I'm saying. What other team?
Shadow knows Baker, man. Baker.
Come on.
I know, right?
He's good in commercials, right? Man. I'll give him that.
Yeah, and we had a guy named Mike Glennon at one time that was our starter who we knew wasn't going to be our starter.
The ostrich, that big ass neck.
Right. So right now you're talking about the Buccaneers, the Panthers themselves, the Saints, and the Falcons.
Oh, the Falcons are
Falcons made a couple big acquisitions.
They bolstered their defense, but I'm going to defer to you, Fal, because Desmond Ridder was your guy.
I mean, Desmond Ridder was my guy. I like the Desmond Ridder, but the thing is this: we haven't seen enough of Desmond Ridder to know if he can sit up there and play or not.
True.
We don't know.
I actually thought Atlanta might be jumping up there to get a quarterback.
I don't know if today or this week he was ratified as the starter quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons this year, right?
He probably is because I think he was a second or third round pick for them, so he's probably gonna start off as their quarterback. But what I want the people in the chat, I want you guys to sit up there and tell us, comment, who do you guys want the Bears to take at number 9?
And please,
you know,
even if
maybe
you're
you guys
lurking,
say someone that we're not complete, that we're not totally thinking about. Maybe somebody that shocked the shit out of us. Like, you know what? I can see that.
None of this running back shit, though. Don't you say that damn running back.
Don't say Bijan Robinson, please.
Bullets made
I'm going to void out Bijan Robinson.
Bullets made a good point last week because when you look at the overall draft board,
a kicker, he says.
He's number 5.
No, because we're going to get Robbie Gould back.
We'll bring that one up, too.
He's the number 5, like, best overall player.
Yeah.
What up, Scott?
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
All right, so somebody said kicker. We got another Paris Johnson.
Neil, up to upstate New York.
I mean, when you kind of think about the Bears,
that's Greg. Greg, jump on if you can, man. Hey, that's Greg from the Sizzle. Yeah. Send a link, Frank, because he was high on Bijan Robinson as well.
They might actually just be able to send him an emails.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, we got an OT. Yeah, I think they got to go defense. Now, I'm not trying to go in the secondary. True enough, but you got to put some guys. You got to put some guys up there on that defensive line to put some pressure on that quarterback. I don't care how good our secondary, because remember our secondary looked pretty good last year.
Yeah.
I don't care how good your secondary look. If you don't have no pressure on that quarterback, any quarterback in the league, even a fucking Baker Mayfield, will tear your defense apart if he's got all day back there to sit up there and shit.
Of which he did his rookie year.
I don't know about Baker, man.
His rookie year, he set the record for rookie.
A lot of people have good rookie years, and then just
as soon as Bitonio and the boys got hurt.
Yeah. Do me a favor, Frank. Can you just show the comment from Alberto Valdez? I'm gonna make a very quick shout out to this guy. I administrate his page, Chicago Bears Fan Forever. 70,000 members in this page, 18 million views in the last 28 days. My friend Alberto,
man, we gotta get you on. Alberto, you wanna come on too?
Thank you very much for letting me. Thank you very much for letting me administrate this page with you. Is the highest growing page in the Chicago area. Thank you very much, Alberto. I'm sorry, guys, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, that was well worth it.
This show is live right there, right now.
Man. Yeah, look, we tip our hats off to people that do their thing. That's one thing about us. You won't hear no hating from us. We tip our hats off to you when you are down there doing your thing. We have no problem with acknowledging people for what it is that they do, especially when it comes to a subject that's pertaining to all of us, what we love dear in our hearts, which is the Chicago Bears.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much,
Falmouth.
By the way, Falmouth, I missed you at the Dallas game.
I know, right?
We were right there.
I had my fiance with me. It was her first Bears game. I spent a lot of money for them damn tickets, and I baked in that sun, man.
I know.
I got sunburned.
Yeah, it was terrible. Sun was terrible.
Yeah, that was the only time in the whole entire year that they decided to open up the damn
roof. I remember you said you got sunburned.
Yeah, I got fucking sunburn, man. I got the pictures. I'm just sitting over there with a towel over my head and shit. Man, I ain't had no glasses, no nothing. But yeah, Loki, we definitely gonna have to hook up, my brother. Definitely.
Alberto, this one's for you, man. This is how we do things in Chicago.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
My man, Alberto.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question to ask because Chris I'm sorry. You had mentioned about the people that were like looking in the chat. Mm-hmm. Loki, you did say you feel that Braxton Jones is our left tackle. This DeJuan Jones kid.
I just looked him up too, man.
Oh,
They said the only thing that worries about him is speed rushers who are smaller than him. That's the only thing that he needs work on. They said
he's
that he
going
can
to sit on them.
Well, that's the thing. They can get under him a lot too, but
But
that's where his
is
long arms
this.
got to come and play.
But this is what I sit up there and say. People talk about the speed rushers, true enough. But have you ever seen this dude punch? I seen the video where he's using his arms and his hands to punch, and all you see is the DB go back like this. The defensive line like, I mean, like he literally got the lights knocked out of him. Like this kid is, look, he only, a whole entire college season, the man only allowed 5 pressures.
Right, that's a good sack season. You said pressures.
Yeah. He only allowed 5 pressures, 0 sacks. See, everybody's focusing in on Paris Johnson. True enough, granted. But this guy right here, especially with the Bears, you don't need a left tackle. You're not in dire need. Now, you're in dire need of a right tackle.
Yeah.
But you're not in dire need of a left tackle.
And a center.
I think that is our biggest position as a center.
Right.
Van Prin, but we'll talk about that another day.
Well, Mustafer's gone. That's an upgrade, so we will be fine.
That's an immediate upgrade.
We will be just fine.
Plug my small ass in there, and it'll probably.
Well, Lucas Patrick is not, to me, the answer. Let's talk about that because, okay,
he can't stay healthy.
That's what I'm saying. So him not staying healthy is the equivalent of us having Mustafer. We have nothing.
Correct.
Well,
I don't know. We might rather have nothing.
You also have to look.
Nothing is cheaper. we gotta play it that way.
Save a couple dollars.
Now, true enough, we know that Lucas Patrick does not stay healthy. Mm-hmm. But also remember, we still have Cody Whitehair on the team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who has played center before.
Mm-hmm. And he's still a good
lineman. You added to that depth and you added to that versatility because of Lucas Patrick just happens to stay on the squad. And
we did draft the center last year too.
They drafted 2 centers last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, they drafted one and then picked one up.
What did we say before Falmouth from the Kramer of law or the lawyer from Kramer?
Kramer. From U of I, right?
Yeah.
And then they had Dieter Iceland from.
He went to Harvard or Yale, Harvard or Holster or something. I don't know.
So they had 2 centers on the roster last year, but I'm looking at it like this. Lucas Patrick wasn't that hell of a when he was a backup in Green Bay. So I don't know what they saw in him. So I'm not he cannot be your answer right now.
Good evening, Juanita.
3rd round. Juanita. Hey, 3rd round, possibly 4th. Hear me out. Cedric Van Prin.
Oh, 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
All for that. I would take far, which I think he will. He's still going to be an immediate upgrade from what we have. He would be a day.
I've never seen a center taken like what Kevin Maguire or somebody like that was like the highest center ever taken. But I remember Jeff Saturday is a Hall of Famer, and he was picked in the 5th, 6th round or something like that. Like he was way there.
Yeah, that center position sort of reminds me of that running back position where it's like you don't necessarily have to spend a 1st round pick to get a good one.
Right.
Sure.
So
right.
Sure. I totally understand it that. This Jones kid, man, I'm starting to like him more and more. Every time I get to see more film of him, he is a prototypical right tackle, and he's got a nasty streak to him. Being that big, I mean, like Johnson is 6'6", 300. This guy's 6'8", 350 plus,
374.
Yeah.
I had to get a beer. I couldn't take it anymore.
His arms are longer than Braxton Jones.
Yeah.
Huh?
His arms are longer than Braxton Jones. He ran a 5.3.
He has the longest arms in combine history.
Are we talking about Dwan again?
Yeah. So, I'll put it to you like this. Even if you go, all right, let's say, for instance, the Bears go offensive lineman, that first pick. Do you think they're going to go defensive line, both of those 2nd round picks?
No, I don't.
I don't think so.
I don't. I'm with you.
That's why I wouldn't mind them going defensive end with the 1st pick and then taking Dwan and possibly the 2nd round.
I literally think they go defense. I think they go offensive tackle, then they go defensive end, then they go defensive backfield. I literally think that's what they'll do.
Okay.
You mean like secondary backfields?
But we have
Well, yeah, you need depth back there anyway. It's not going to matter.
I mean, but do you want to really waste a second round pick on another defensive back?
I said defensive end.
Yeah, he said end.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He said after that he would say secondary.
Right, because you can like
the third
Miles Murphy and a couple of others that were pretty decent.
So are you talking about with one of those second round? Are you talking about one of those second round picks taking a defensive back?
Tackle. I mean, a defensive end. Defensive end.
Oh,
not,
okay.
Not a DB. A defensive
end. We have the 53, and then we have
the 61st.
The 61st.
So it's almost like back to back in the second round. I think you go best available defensive lineman there.
Yeah.
A la if a Miles Murphy is available.
Oof. Wait, in the second round?
Yes.
I would pray to the heavens if that happened. I'd be so happy.
But again, you got to remember what other teams need. That's why I said if you look in the first round right now, before you even get to 9, I'm telling you, I don't think Will Anderson gets past Arizona because they lose J.J. Watt.
He's going Arizona.
They lose J.J. Watt, who led the team in sacks, even though he was hurt. And my opinion, Seattle does not take Jalen Carter. Seattle takes Tyree Wilson. It just makes more sense.
I agree with that too. That's why I do feel Jalen Carter might be there at 9.
So when Jalen Carter is there available at 9, and I'm the Bears, I don't take him. I don't.
Yeah. You don't take Jalen Carter.
It's tough.
Because here's the thing. Call. The one thing, if you know, and I'm not talking about just being girthy. I'm talking about being in shape. Right now, and I was a fan of Jalen Carter because I've seen him wreak havoc. But then you look at the numbers, back-to-back seasons, he's only had 3 sacks. He's a disruptor. He's not a finisher.
Okay.
And Matt Eberflus, as bad as we were on defense last year, those boys flew to the ball. They were in shape.
Absolutely.
Jalen Carter right now is a shape. You know what I'm saying? Like
he looks like a fucking donut.
And I'm not saying he can't get rededicated and stuff, but it's something to me when you're at your pro day, your one time to really just shine and say the spotlight is on me, and you can't even finish. Hey, look here, man. Maybe you were just the big fish in a little pond, and now you're coming up to the big league and you're the little fish in the big pond. We've seen, Chris, we know all that. We've seen much bigger players fall short of the mark.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, my whole take on it is I never seen the fascination with this dude that everybody, that these so-called pundits and all these experts have about dude. There's nothing that I've gone and seen where it sits up there and makes me think that he's going to be the next Aaron Donald. What? Because he's big? What? Because
he's not an Aaron Donald caliber player regardless. He's a disruptor.
Who was his teammate last year, Chris, at D-Tackle, who was better?
Jordan.
Jordan was better.
Right. He went to the Eagles. They had the other guy. This is my thing about when people start talking about Jalen Carter. A couple things that I don't like about. One, like you said, he came in out of shape. Out of shape. They were already talking about his weight anyway. He came into his pro day out of shape. Then he has this problem going on. One thing that I've constantly heard the Bears talk about is that they want people that love the game of football.
Correct. Absolutely.
They question this young man's his mentality. They've been questioning to see if he really does love the game of football. Right now, he's showing that he does it. I don't care how much talent they claim that he's got. I'm sitting up here thinking, like, you guys talking about all this. This guy in 2 years has had nothing but 6 sacks.
Yes.
But yet, here it is. Will Anderson has 17 and a half sacks. His sophomore year. And they still trying to sit up there and put this guy ahead of him. And then not only that, they talking about the Bears drafting him to put him in a 3 technique. And the purpose of the 3 technique is to sit up there to put pressure and sack the quarterback. But this guy's only had 6 sacks in 2 years. So he's not going to be able to do more than likely.
He's no Tommy Harris, man. He's
not at all. And then if you want to go back to Jones. Jones gone and got him a couple times when they played. And I asked you just like this. I asked all 3 of you guys like this.
How do you feel about this kid, Lucas Van Ness?
I think he's got a cool name, but I don't think he's the fit.
Nah, I don't think so either.
Okay.
I don't think so either. If Carter was to come out, let's just say, for instance, do you think Carter would have went before any of his teammates that went last year?
Nope. Not by what I've seen.
Exactly. So my thing is this: if he wouldn't have went before Jordan and Walker last year, why you guys got him so high now this year?
We'll see. That's why I say
there's not a lot of 3 technique tackles with.
And then Nolan Smith, what's his name? What's his name?
Nolan Smith.
Yeah, you're right. Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith. Okay,
Georgia guy.
He was the man at Georgia last year. He was the guy that led the team in sacks.
Correct.
But he's not getting talked about because what? Of how tall he is. He's 6'2". He's one of those smaller DNs, but he runs a 4.39.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
But okay, so I hate to be this guy, but I have to be this guy.
We know you're that guy.
You're Jalen Carter right now. What comparison do you have?
Yeah. Get this, and you're gonna laugh at me when I say this. Keith Traylor.
Keith Traylor?
That big fat plugger. That's all he's gonna be. That big flat plugger who's gonna stop the run.
Gotta remember, Keith Traylor, when he came into the league, was not big and fat.
I'm saying Keith Traylor more when we know the big Keith Traylor.
But I wouldn't say him. You got to think of a DT, someone that possibly could have been great, but just didn't have that motor. You could say like an Albert Hainsworth.
Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn, perhaps?
Well, no, but Robert Quinn wasn't a big guy. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about like a bruiser.
Okay.
Big guy. So here's the thing, Phil. I'm just going to put it out there. It's actually, if you look at the way Jalen Carter's built, you want him to be like a former Georgia Bulldog, Geno Atkins.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And Geno had similar stats his last 2 years. I think he had like no sacks or something because he got drafted to the Bengals. I don't know if you all remember Geno Atkins.
Yeah, I remember Geno.
Sure.
And we were like
the Pro Bowls.
And I think he's like they're like one of the top. If I'm not mistaken, he's like one of their top sack getters on the Bengals, like in the history of their team, right? But my thing is, if you have a guy like that and he's giving you that type of production, then now we're talking about something because his junior and senior year, remember Geno Atkins, they were talking about him like he don't sack the quarterback. All he does is disrupt. But then when he gets in the league, he got 70-something tackles. 70-something sacks for his career as a DT. That's huge. That's good. Mm-hmm. So if his ceiling is Geno Atkins, I'll even go a little bit better and say Geno Atkins, Cortez Kennedy, then yes. But the one thing they had was work ethic. I'm not seeing that from Jalen Carter right now. He's a big kid, yeah.
I think he didn't even show up for his pro day, did he?
He showed up. Halfway through. Finish his fat
halfway through. Yeah. Halfway through the pro day, he arrived.
Yeah, he sat up there and he quit. He really did. He sat up there, he quit. He didn't make it through.
He reminds me of a Peter Griffin when he played for the Pats, right?
Yeah.
He just doesn't give a shit, man.
He doesn't.
And I think all you can really say is if we're hoping that I hope that Jalen Carter is not there at 9, so we don't even have to think about it. That's my hope right now. But you just got to trust the Bears organization and bringing this kid in as far as like before drafting him, like bringing him in and just finding out where his head and his heart is. Because if he's not all for this game, the love of this game, then we're not taking you at 9. Maybe if you're there in the 4th round.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, though, 9 money-wise, correct me if I'm wrong, that's a healthy bump in salary to where 1 through 5, I think 1 through 3, then it's 4, 5. Albert Hainsworth, we said that great, Jeremy.
Yeah.
And then everybody else like gets tiered down. We talking about a kid who already loves fast cars and a fast lifestyle, and we talking about giving him guaranteed bread.
Yeah, that's.
I gotta see. Like he needs to me. Point. He needs to go to that. Remember, Chris, that symposium with Tony Dungy and them, and talk about the broke stuff. Like he needs to. It's a lot to go on.
My man.
I say, let me sign off on Jalen Carter. Now, if he slips to the second round,
and then that may be a risk you're willing to take.
I think somebody like if he falls and Mike Tomlin gets a hold of him, maybe he can change his fortune. I don't see him falling completely out the first round, but at 9, I still.
We have a comment in there that I have to get to because this is
very interesting.
This is the one thing that's scary. What if he does go to Detroit?
He
does turn out to be the guy that he feared.
You know what's crazy about that? You know who they sort of hyping this guy up to be sort of like?
Ndamukong Suh?
Yeah.
I read that and I was like, no, I don't see it because Ndamukong Suh in Nebraska was nasty and he was getting sacks.
And we just before we get on to the next one, we got another one in the house too. We got G Sizzles here. Bring in the Sizz.
Who it is? You know what it is.
Hey,
G.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Flip that phone.
I gotta flip it. Okay.
Flip it so you get that full screen. You just flipped yourself completely off the screen.
That's not supposed to happen.
That's a first.
So I want to sort of shout out.
What kind of phone do you have, man?
That must be some new technology shit right there, man. Just flipped it right off.
I was actually listening to a podcast earlier on. Shout out to our boy Ken Davis, and those guys were talking too. They were talking about Carter or whatnot, and they brought up an interesting subject. The Bears really don't have that veteran presence there to teach him how to sit up there and become a professional. Someone that can get in his ass and where he has to really sit up there and respect them. Mm-hmm. You kind of think about it. They don't have nobody on that defensive line that's like that.
The most tenured person now is Walker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Walker's doing pretty well.
He's 6 years?
No. Well, I'm sitting up here saying he's new to Chicago. So
there you go. All right. Gentlemen,
there you are. There you are.
What's going on? How's everybody this evening?
Just good, man.
Who's got that big echo going right now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a terrible. I had to just jump on real quick before I jump off. But I heard the conversation, man. And we talked about this last weekend on the radio. We definitely talked about it with JB. And Frank, we're still waiting for you to come on the show. Foul Mouth, you can come on the show. Everybody can come on the show. But listen, we talked about, and I was teasing when we talked about running backs before, about bringing a running back into the mix. I wanted somebody to help out Justin. But here's one question I have. And JB, we talked about this. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to the Bears at this 9th pick, what happens if the Bears decide they don't want to get this 9th pick and you want to collect some more assets, and maybe the player that you're looking at, if you go back to the year when Rex Grossman was drafted, maybe you say, if I can get down into the teens and maybe get a D tackle out of Northwestern and then get another pick somewhere in there, maybe Orion, maybe he sees something great in that. I don't know. He's just said that he sees value in local products and players from the area. Yeah. So now is this an opportunity that we see for the Bears to say, we can still stack up and get some more picks? Because you might need a war chest for next year if you're going to go after Marvin Harrison Jr. So if that is the prevailing thought, do the Bears even stay in this 9th pick, or do they come out of it and pick up something, another second rounder or something for next year moving forward?
G, now that you're talking about this, G, do you have someone? I mean, because it's evidently you have given a lot of thoughts to this. Who do you picture trading down with us for the 9th pick?
Okay, so there's been
what's the scenario in your mind?
In my mind, to tell you the truth, I don't see a workable scenario, but I do hear. I still keep hearing a lot of chatter about Tennessee. And you hear teams that are trying to come in backdoor some things. and get in positioning. But if you're looking at just what you got right now, right? You're at the 9th pick. Are you really talking about taking a D tackle that you have questions about his, not just his effort now, not just his character, everything about it? I mean, you're talking about a cat who came in 20 pounds overweight for his own pro day.
Yeah, that's insane.
I mean, you couldn't even come into your pro day. And then when I look back at it, I was saying that to Jay Sizzle when we were really looking at some things. I forgot, because it was like two different stories for me, what happened in Georgia. There was a young lady whose car went off the road, hit a tree, hit a pole, hit another tree, and then hit a house. And this kid thought, hey, it was okay. It's all cool. It's all gravy. Then a video pops up of him being stopped by campus police. What was that, a month earlier? Then there are other issues of him having problems, and it's being covered up and covered up. Is that really the guy you wanna hit your knife, as JB was saying? That knife money is big money.
It is.
That is big money. I mean, you're talking about now, is this what Ryan Poles, does he want to assign his future to getting a kid where you get him into Chicago, you get him on some weekends or some nights, and if drag racing is his thing, you don't want to see this kid riding up and down the highway and hitting something. I'm just saying right now, for me, it's a lot. It's a lot to say that we can invest in him, but you have some other options. Now, to the great point, who do I see? I don't know. Maybe there's somebody who wants to jump into that 9th pick. And so if you come up, we'll say, 3 picks? Let's just say you want to come up 3 picks. You want to that knife. Yeah, you want to come in there. And so I'll go back to maybe catch a lineman somewhere. I can catch an Ohio State lineman. I can catch a Georgia lineman. Or maybe if our favorite Northwestern guard tackle is there, maybe I jump back in there and get him. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, is this about accumulating picks, or is this about accumulating assets or accumulating players? Are you looking for quantity, or are you looking for quality in this pick?
Yeah. We need both.
Yeah, we need all
quantity and quality.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I would think the only team that makes like logical sense would be the Texans, because they're going to grab that quarterback in the future, and then the whole America on something, they can solidify things on their mind. I can see them jumping from 12 to 9, but I don't see them giving away Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Because that doesn't make any sense. Because if they do that, like, oh, Larry Tunsil, guess what? Now we drafted Bijan Robinson. So they're setting it up. So I don't think it's like 9 is as attractive, but you have some bells and whistles on to make it attractive.
Hey Sizzle, do you hear that echo? That's coming from your mic.
Yeah,
I muted you and you went away.
Me?
But it's only when we talk, it echoes. It's really weird. Like if I mute you and I'm talking, like I just have you on mute right now and we don't got it. So I don't know. That's weird. I don't know if you got to turn the volume down or something. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I may be in the basement. They may be holding me hostage here, trying to keep me up. That's what they're trying to do. But I'll ask this one question, fellas, before I'll get ready to depart, so I won't hold up the show. But
good.
Is Devin Witherspoon, is that the pick that are you really now looking at? I keep hearing people talk about, well, maybe they get a corner and he's the Illinois favorite. If you're this high in with the 9th pick, or even let's say the 10th or 11th pick, do you go and get a Devin Witherspoon? Because I'm worried about corners in this draft who none of them have big interception totals. It's just me. I don't know. I mean, you're talking about guys who don't. And then I think, JB, we talked about it before. Now, what does that do to your cornerback room? If you go and get a cornerback now, who goes to the nickel now?
That's because Weatherspoon's a true outside linebacker.
Yeah.
He's that, and he can't play some nickel.
Before we move on, JP, hold on. Loki's got to head out right now. I want him to give out shout outs and everything. Are you on mute? Did I mute you?
Yeah, you muted me, man. Guys, Frank, Foulmouth, JV, G, thank you very much for the invitation, guys. I have a business dinner with a partner that is in Mexico, so we're
happy to have you back.
We're going to take them out for a couple of drinks. But I just want to say goodbye, saying that I am very proud of you guys. You have been doing a great job. I have been watching all the shows, all the former football Chicago Bears that you have had in the show. I am very proud. And I want to tell you this very quickly for all the people watching in the United States of America, in Mexico, and whatever you're watching right now. Let me tell you who we have hired so far. TJ Edwards, Nate Davis, Tremaine Edmonds, DeMarcus Walker, Travis Homer, PJ Walker, Andrew Billings, Robert Tonian, Deonta Foreman, and Dylan Cole. Man, some of these big players were offered the same amount of money somewhere else, and they decided to come to the Bears because they are excited to play next to Justin Fields. So shut the fuck up with the Justin Fields trade, and let's go, man.
Amen.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure. All of you guys, bless you. God bless you. See you soon.
See you later, Lo.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Oh, it's nice having him back.
All the way from Mexico, baby.
Definitely.
And big shout out to you all, man, for bringing in big guests, man. You all are doing it big. When I grow up, I want to be like y'all. I keep telling you that. You know, it's going to happen. One day, I'm going to get there. And then I'm going to be, boy,
happy to have people come on and listen to our show, you know what I'm saying, and be able to partake in our love for the Chicago Bears and just for Chicago sports in general. You know, that's what we all about. We don't mind giving people a voice. We love listening to seeing what the chat has to say about it. We always comment. There's a couple people on here that we actually bring on. Tell you the truth, to be honest with you, me and Frank got on here because we were people that were just in the chat commenting all the time, and they decided to put us on. So,
yeah, I don't know what the hell T was thinking.
Yeah,
bringing my ass on.
I think someone said in the chat, it may have been our man, A. Stewart was sitting up there saying that, you know, basically Poles has already said this is like a 2-year thing. So I don't see tell the truth, this whole Witherspoon talk, that shit sounds like that's been nothing but local shit because no one nationally is talking about the Bears.
It's ESPN Chicago.
Yeah. So I ain't even paying attention to their ass.
That's what I heard.
Huh?
That's what I heard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not paying attention to them because it's a local kid. Just like the whole, I don't think they're going to take the guy from Northwestern at all either. I mean, where are you going to put him at? Because like I said, he's 6'4". He doesn't have long arms. You already got to left. You damn sure not going to put him at right.
Well, that's what you got to worry about too. Let's not forget, as great as Jenkins is, he's only great when he's healthy, and that back act ups on him every single year now.
Well, it's only been
2 years.
You know what the thing
he came out of the draft with that back injury too.
But I'm not. But this is my thing. He's been playing 2 years. His back didn't really give him problems like that last year. But at the same time, I'm not about to sit up here and draft another guy at that goddamn position when I've already got him there.
No, I agree.
Plus, I've already got a Cody White here. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I got a Lucas Patrick that can all play that same damn position. So I'm not going to get no kid from that 6'4" from fucking Northwestern to move his ass inside that guard. Where it looks like right now, shit, we got enough depth at guard.
Can he play center?
Huh? I don't want his ass at center either. So we can scratch his ass off the list and scratch Witherspoon's ass off the list. I don't want no local kids. I love them. Not in the first, not as far as this ninth pick, no.
But here's the thing. If Ryan Poles has already stated, as Sizzle alluded to, that he likes local talent, that means he's sending people to watch these kids more in depth, right? That's one. Two, it's something to be said about finding, Chicago basketball, for those of that don't know, foul mouth played and everything we play. It's something to be said about being able to recruit and draft in your backyard, right? I think Ryan Poles was trying to bring that approach, because here's the thing. Is the Northwestern kid, Peter Skoronski, is he prototypically what we're going to sit up here and say he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that? But yet we've seen non-prototypical people do Hall of Fame type stuff. That doesn't mean he can't play. That doesn't mean he won't be successful. Maybe Poles does see something in him that he feels the next 10 or 12 years he is your franchise lineman. I didn't say left tackle. I said lineman. That has to have value, because when you look at offensive lines, it's like 3 lines you got to have to compare to. It's the Hogs. It's that line in Green. I'm sorry, that line in Dallas with Larry Allen and Nate Newton and them boys, right? And then it's that Denver line with Mark Schlereth and them boys, which allowed Terrell Davis. Like, if you are building one of those 3 lines in character, you got something going on. And I see Ryan Poles leaning more toward that. That's what I see.
Yeah, and hey, we got somebody in the comments that I want to, because we were talking about, I want Don Burr to answer in the comments on this one. Would you take Jalen Carter at 6? I want your answer on this, Don. Don't always be a lurker. Answer our questions sometimes.
Them Detroit, and also going on the record, them Detroit jokes, they don't hit different. Y'all ain't did shit. Fucking y'all won.
They did knock Green Bay out of the playoffs. I mean,
I don't give a fuck.
No, that was like a personal thing for them. Like, that was their Super Bowl.
Yeah, that don't mean shit. What have they done?
They had a better year. They had finally a solid year.
I will say this:
like 5-6 years.
I'm picking them to win the division.
It's gonna. What do you think, Sizzle? Can you pick them to win the division?
Look, he answered.
Oh, he did answer?
Yes.
I got a question though.
All right.
When it comes to Northwestern, what Ryan Poles might be looking at, could it be a smokescreen that it's not Skoronski that they're looking at? But you hear a lot, and maybe this is Chicago driven, but you've heard now nationally some people mention, and I want to make sure I'm saying his name right, because I don't want to slag anybody's name. It's Adi Barra, the D line.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So to the theory about them sliding back, if you're looking at him as a 3 technique, or you're trying to bolster that line, and let's say the Texans do move up, you have a good rapport with them, they move up, give you their pick to come to 9th, and then you get a 2nd round or 3rd round out of them next year. Is that something that you look at? Are you looking again to solidify one side of the ball? Because what I'm seeing with Ryan Poles is he's solidifying defense first. Mm-hmm. What he did last year was pick up the thing you need to win a championship. If you've got an good offensive player, you've still got to have defense to get you there. Example, Philadelphia. You can be good offensively, but you've got to have a defense that can at least hold you into a game. So is this something that Ryan Poles is saying, well, let me look and see what we have defensively. What can we get? We may not get a 5-star, but is he going to be blue enough that we can play him and he can come in day one and be a starter on that defensive line?
Him, no. Because I would take a Brian Brees before I take him. That's just my personal opinion. But I look at the style of play.
Good point, Don Burr. Good point. That's what you need. You would need somebody who would have to get his head out of his ass and get the best out of him. But you just don't know if the heart is there. And the heart, let's not forget, sometimes it's very hard to coach these players hard nowadays because people are soft now. Like, players get soft. They can't. There's a reason why Jim Harbaugh isn't in the NFL anymore. Like, he was that type of player. Ditka would not be able to be a coach in this league. There's no possible chance.
Harbaugh's voice got stale. That's what it was.
It's a good point, too. Yeah, a very good point.
Dan Campbell is a throwback, though, and they actually play for this guy. Hi, Jeremy.
we do with Lovey. That's for damn sure.
Lovey has no affiliation with the Texans.
Not anymore, but he did. That's a very good point, but that wasn't our fault. They could hate Lovey for that one.
But I just feel you sizzle when you say that, because now, again, remember we talked about I don't need Ryan Poles to be the smartest guy in the room. I need him to make the right pick. If he did pull that, we've okay. Full transparency, the Chicago Bears in the history of the organization, we've actually taken a lot of Northwestern players. It's not like we don't take them. It's not like they're not part of our scouting department. Like, oh, we're not going to go to U of I. We're not going to go. No, we've taken some good, and they've had some success. The thing about this particular one is you have the chance at 9 to solidify one or the other side of the ball, to truly solidify it. It's just which one do you value more at this point? Because I'm going to throw the name in the hat thanks to foul mount. If it's not Paris Johnson or DeJuan Jones on the offensive side of the line, then on defense, it better damn sure be a Tyree Wilson, a Nolan Smith, a Miles Murphy, or somebody of that ilk on the defensive side of the ball. If you don't solidify one of those and you say, well, I'm going to make this big prediction where I'm pointing the right field, I'm going to hit this 390-foot home run and win the game, you better hit. I don't want no more Shea McClellans.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants another Shea McClellan.
I don't want no more Chris Williams, Kevin Whites, Gabe Karemis. I can go on and on and on and on and on. I don't want no more of them. Get the guy that's actually projected to be damn good for once. Like, actually take that guy.
Yeah, I agree, because that's what I'm getting from that kid from Northwestern. I'm getting that type of vibe, like that Shea McCullen vibe from.
And he's not bad. He's not bad though. He's not bad.
No. I mean, Shea McCullen.
Shea McCullen wasn't bad either.
Shea wasn't bad, but
yeah, he wasn't bad either. But you want to know who else gives off that vibe like that?
Jalen Carter.
Lucas Van Nels, whatever his name is, Luke Van Nels, whatever the hell that dude.
Yeah.
He gives off that vibe too. I don't want the guys where it's like you trying to sit up there and find this guy where it gives you all this acclaim, like, oh man, he discovered such and such when no one else sat up there and thought about him and discovered him. No one thought that he can be that good. Fuck that. Sometimes just take the guy that you think and that most people think that's going to be good. Yeah. Right now, that guy ain't Jalen Carter. Don't take his ass. Please don't.
Hey, guess what?
And don't get me wrong, he may turn out to be great.
And I hope he does. I
never want somebody to turn out to be great. But as of right now, like this draft has officially put our GM or president or whatever he is, Poles, put him on the clock. He is officially on the clock. Last year, he wasn't on the clock. This year, he's officially on the clock.
We said
this is things that he's gone and made, the moves that he's gone and made to acquire, to get whatever draft picks. He's not messing around with nobody else's draft picks. You know what I'm saying? It's his now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would we all be against if he does trade back out of 9 and he still picks up DeJuan Jones, say at like 17, 18? I don't know. And then maybe get an additional round pick.
Well, I'll say this for Anthony in the chat. It does not make sense. I mean, 9 is a great spot.
It is.
But if you get any type of draft capital, if you're getting something else, and I agree with JB wholeheartedly, if you're going to come out that 9th pick, you got to come out that 9th pick with one of these blue players that's great. You still got guys all the way up to 20. You've got linemen you can put in there, plug and play. And some of them may not be talked about in the same way as the top tier, but they're good linemen in this draft.
There's a lot.
Good linemen on both sides. But we really know the top offensive line. So even if you do come out that ninth, you're going to have to come out that ninth with a first round of next year or a second round of next year and a good player to justify coming out of that. Because to Foulmouth's point, this is it. This is where the clock starts now with Ryan Poles. Whatever's going to happen now is going to be the telltale sign. Either it's going to make or break his Bears career. Either by the time they move into their new stadium, he's with the team, or he's not going to be with the team, based, I believe, solely on what happens at this point.
I agree, Anthony. We're set with capital, but we could always get more.
Well, here's the thing. Don't be too greedy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. His belly is full right now. But here's the thing. The one glaring thing that he has to do, he has to hit.
Yes. We have failed way too much in the first
on the clock, but he's got
Bears history tradition.
Hit. One thing we can say about Pace when he was here, with the Roquan, he hit.
He did.
With Jalen Johnson, in my opinion, he hit. Eddie Jackson, he hit. The Khalil Mack trade, he hit. One thing he didn't
gave up a lot of capital to hit those, but he did hit.
But he did hit. The only thing that's only defensively.
Yeah, a couple. He missed on a lot of move ups too.
Correct.
He
Correct.
did. And
in my opinion, doesn't have that luxury because the first thing people are going to go back to just like Ryan Pace, with all the good that we just pointed out he did, similar to Jerry Angelo. But you drafted Mitch Trubisky.
And you didn't take Patrick Mahomes. It's always
you traded up one spot and gave up the world to get him. Nobody's going to remember the good. They're just going to remember, dude, you traded for Mitch. Like, dude.
And I know Jeremy put a nice comment on here, and I want everyone's opinion to answer this one. This is a good one. All right. Wild card. What does Lamar Jackson play in this draft right now? I think it's a good thing that he requested the trade in this draft, because if a 1 through 9 person possibly takes him and they're not going to take a quarterback now, somebody might be moved, or another quarterback might slip, and they might want to move up in the draft and give up more capital for that 9 pick. You don't think so?
You want to know who's a team that I honestly think should probably take a chance at him, that could probably really afford to do it?
I was going to say the Tennessee Titans.
Seattle.
They just paid Geno.
Yeah, they just paid Geno good money for be a quarterback the next 2 years.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't pay him money that's going to sit up there and break the bank. I mean, you look at it.
It's like $30 plus million.
I'm going to tell you who the team is.
You want me to tell you? It's also going to be the Colts that you're going to think of too. All right, JB's got another one. Hit it.
I'm going to tell you who the team is. And check my source on this and remember this day. Who's about to buy the Washington Commanders?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Guess who Magic Johnson has said he liked?
Who?
Lamar Jackson.
That's going to be his first move.
So, in my interpretation, depending on how fast this deal gets done, if you're Ron Rivera and you're telling me I'm hitching my wagon with this prototypical thing because Washington really they got it. You hitching your wagon to Sam Howell? Who the hell is Sam Howell, man? Compared to Lamar Jackson.
And you got the money to get Lamar and pay
Well,
Lamar.
the thing is, we got to wait to see when that deal goes through.
But that's what I said. I said it's contingent on when this transaction takes place.
Yeah,
but, they like to push things on the back burner and wait and see and all that kind of crazy stuff. But it just makes more sense. I want to say because Taylor Heineke just went somewhere. He went to Atlanta, right? So Atlanta's out. So they got Ritter, Heineke. Atlanta's out. The Lions, possibly, maybe not really, because for whatever reason, and I'm not even saying it's a bad thing, Dan Campbell loves Jared Goff. Like, he has, if you look at Jared Goff's numbers were pretty good, pretty decent, comparable to what he did in the Super Bowl year. Now, the wild card has to be Commanders. You are not keeping pace with the Eagles right now. You damn sure ain't keeping pace with the Cowboys. And the Giants just gave Daniel Jones $40 million plus for 2 years.
And it's also not like, when it comes down to the Commanders, like they've lost a lot of fan base. They really have. They've lost a lot of fan base. And
they're doing dumb stuff.
They are. And when you're going to bring in a new owner, a la Magic freaking Johnson, and he makes a splash like that right away, everybody jumps right back in. And they are excited as hell to go see that guy play.
I'm telling you right now.
But when you're with the Commanders, you have to be careful too, because right now they're not making the smartest moves. I mean, because you look at it, what you call its contract is coming up. They already paid both of their fucking DTs and Jonathan Allen.
And Payne.
Well, Deron Payne, we said that they were going to probably franchise him. But you're talking about Chase Young.
Chase Young, his contract is coming up in the other DN. What's his name?
Montez Sweat.
Yeah.
Montez Sweat.
So, you know,
but look at what they have.
And then you got to come to think about it like this. What about their wide receiver?
They don't have that bad of receivers.
Scary Terry signed. Jahan Dotson is going into his second year, and I forgot the third dude, tall, lanky cat. Can't think of his name right now. But so when I say, and they've got a very, very good offensive line. The only thing they're really missing is a quarterback. That's the only thing they're really missing. So it just makes more sense, man. I think since we opening up the door, Sizzle, if you can give us a few more minutes, since we opening up the door, me personally, I think Lamar Jackson is getting a raw deal. I really do. And I'm not trying to like talk about he didn't have an agent and all this bull, whatever. The kid is a former MVP. The kid was said by Bill Polian, the guru of GMs, that he should become a running back or a wide receiver. And all this man went out and did is put up better numbers than Josh Allen. The first 2 years he put up better numbers than what's the other boy? He was Trevor Lawrence. Lamar Jackson led the NFL in passing touchdowns. How many of the greats led the NFL in passing touchdowns? The greats. I'm talking about Montana. I'm talking about Troy Aikman. I'm talking about John Elway. I'm talking about the greats. How many of them actually led the NFL in passing touchdowns and won MVP? Like this many?
Yeah, if that. Yeah.
The kid's got like a 60-something%, 62, I think 60, is it 62% completion percentage for his career? Like, he's not
63.7.
You telling me that this guy can't get 40 plus and Daniel freaking Jones can?
No, it makes sense.
Now I'm getting fired up. Somebody help me because I'm not understanding. The math ain't mathing right now.
No. Everybody's just worried about his legs. Everybody's worried about his legs. That's
Why are you worried about his legs when the man has shown to you he can throw the ball?
Yes, but he wants to run the ball. He wants to be that type of quarterback.
That's negative. He does not want to run the ball. Go back to John Harbaugh's statements after they lost. What was his name? What was the offensive coordinator's name? Who led him to throw the something touchdowns? He left. Then they revamped the offense and put him back in the Stone Age and make him run the damn Army stuff.
Well, I'll put it to you like this as well. For these people that clearly say that this man wants to run the ball and that he can't pass the ball, how the fuck does he have a 63 completion percentage?
Yeah.
Can somebody please tell me 3 wide receivers that he's gonna have.
I like the name, but just not very good. Sammy Watkins.
I'm just saying, like, off the top of your head, can you name 3 wide receivers? Because he's never had a number 1. Hell, he's never had a number 2.
Yeah, he's been
like receivers he had before. He went out and be like, damn, that's who he had.
And also, the man, for a man that they say can't throw the football, how the hell does he have 101 touchdowns and 38 interceptions? But you can't pass the ball, right?
What do you think? What do you think?
I think the math isn't working right. It's a lot of some things. There's some funny money going on here. Now, I'm not a believer that the Colts are going to. Something about Lamar Jackson Colts doesn't seem kosher to me either.
He don't fit what I'm saying.
No. But to JB's point and to Falmouth's point, you can't be a terrible passer and still have stats like he has. I mean, let's look at your Aaron Rodgers. Let's look at Tom Brady's past 2 years. If your numbers are in there, if you're in that range, if your numbers look like the greats numbers, so what does that tell me? Either you're great or somebody can't keep numbers right. Somebody's fudging something somewhere. So the question is, what do you do? I mean, if you're a team, let's take Seattle, for example. You're Pete Carroll, and you're looking at now a Lamar Jackson comes on the market. Or if you're Magic Johnson, and you decide you're going to do your Wizard Kelly thing, and you're going to make it work. And to me, if there's a quarterback to go after, it would have to be Lamar. I don't even see how, if you're Baltimore, you changed your whole offense to tailor around him. And even in changing it, you still have never gotten him a franchise running back. He's, again, his wide receivers have been negligible at best. He hasn't had one where you say, oh, their connection is great. So if you're willing to let him walk out the door, I would think everybody in the league who needs a quarterback or needs to get to the next level would be trying to get a deal worked out with Lamar Jackson. That's just my perspective. Mm-hmm. Now, the only thing I can't say is the Bears don't need him. And contrary to what Jay Sizzle says, the Bears will not be trading for Lamar Jackson. And they will not trade. I'm going to say it. I'm going to look right into the camera. Jay, the Bears will not trade Justin Fields for Lamar Jackson. I just have to say it.
Well, I think the reason why he gets so much flack is because, for the simple fact, he's black. See, one thing about me, I don't give a fuck. I talk about the elephant in the fucking room. He's fucking black. That's the reason why. Because for the simple fact, their so-called lovable guy, Josh Allen, the All-American. Josh Allen completion percentage is 62%.
For his career.
Now, he's going to throw 138 TDs, but he's going to throw 60 interceptions, which is, if I'm not mistaken, which is double the amount of interceptions that Lamar Jackson has thrown. He's going to throw 37 more TDs. But then again, you come and look at some of the weapons that he's going to have around him. He's had a number 1 wide receiver.
Good defense too.
And a good I mean, Lamar's had a good defense.
No, he's at the top.
No, he has. But I think it's more like
the thing is this: Josh Allen. Nobody sits up there and talks about. I mean, everybody talk about how he gets played. Correct me if I'm wrong. Dude, Josh Allen got an MVP?
Nope.
I mean, Lamar Jackson's record is like 48-16.
Isn't he the first unanimous MVP?
Fucking losses.
It was pretty much like an unanimous MVP. But I think the only thing he's got against him right now, mainly, and when we're comparing him to like Josh Allen, is he hasn't made it through a full season his last 3 years.
2 years.
And he's never healthy going into the postseason. Is it 2 years? And he's never really been 100% healthy going into the postseason.
Well,
and that could be the Baltimore Ravens running this system that wears him out like crazy going into the postseason.
Well, you know what? To sit up there to do justice, get the motherfucker number one wide receiver.
I agree with
and
that.
see what the fuck he can do.
And a running back.
A number one wide receiver. Get him weapons around him so then you can sit up there and make this determination if this guy is a fucking franchise quarterback or if he isn't. He's a franchise quarterback to me. Shit,
he's 100% to me as well. He's 100% to me as well. Like it's stupid to I still don't I understand why Baltimore's scared about it, but it doesn't matter. This guy has proved that he is an elite quarterback. And like how Sizzle said, like you tailored your entire offense around this guy. How the fuck are you going to let him walk? It makes no sense to let him walk.
Well, that's the thing. They didn't tailor the last offense around him. Harbaugh is saying they're tailoring this current. Because think about it. If you really, really go back 2 years ago, before Lamar got hurt, they were the number one team in the AFC through week 12. They were number one, and he was putting up astronomical numbers. Like he was like, man, Lamar about to get MVP again. He got hurt. You know why he gets hurt? Because it's like triple option run. Let's make sure Lamar gets 1,000 yards, ball control. You know what? Nobody else can get it. He can get it. Oh, 3 of your running backs got hurt. J.K. Dobbins got hurt. Gus Edwards got hurt. Like that plays a point to it. And now then Lamar is picking up the slack. Now he gets hurt. Then the one time he had a semblance of a number one last year, then Rashad Bateman got hurt. It's like literally, dude, like he trotted out. Like I think it was one week it was Sammy Watkins, Deshaun Jackson, and it was Deshaun Jackson and Hollywood Brown one week. They're like this tall. And they can run one route, and Sammy Watkins can't even run that route no more because Sammy Watkins.
Think about what you say. His running back's been hurt too.
All 3 of his running backs the last 2 years have been hurt. Like this plays a part, people.
And then they're trying so hard to sit up here and fuck this brother over so much. What they talking about? Oh, they offered him $200 million. 100 and something guaranteed, or then they were talking about, oh yeah, he wants 200 million guaranteed, and then because he hasn't spoken on that contract part, you know, whatever the fuck Adam Schefter says, or those other guys that's in the NFL that sits up there that's supposed to have all the scoops, because when he sit up there and said, well, he wants 200 million guaranteed. You know, he tweeted with his eyeballs out like, wow, when the fuck did I ask for that?
Possibility. You never believe that shit until that contract.
And let's be honest, we know that these reporters and everything, they're going to be on the side of the teams.
Yeah. I mean, we know all about this shit when we were just dealing with all this stuff with Roquan Smith.
Exactly. So
nobody knows exactly what the Bears.
Perfect segue, Frank, because I want to dispel this myth. Is having an agent a positive thing? Yes, it can be. Is not having an agent a detriment? Not always, because clearly Roquan wanted $20 million. No agent. What does Mama get him? $20 million. He got his 20. You're telling me right now, that Roquan Smith can get his $20 million, but Lamar can't get his 40?
I actually said it. The day that Roquan signed that 20, this is going to hurt something for Lamar. Are they really going to be able to pay both of them?
They have the money. It ain't about.
I know they have the money. There's no question about that. But
they just cut Calais Campbell to.
Brandon made a good point on this too. With that
Coach and Leo, Brandon Morgan, what's happening? Go Leo.
He makes a very good point right there. A lot of people are cheap asses when it comes down to that escrow roll, because guaranteed money, you have to put it away. You cannot go out and spend it on other people.
You can't. But then, okay. Perfect segue to another statement. You know the escrow thing before you even sign the players. So why is it that the owners are looking at Haslam like, hey man, you should have never gave Deshaun 230 guarantee. You messed us over.
You fucked everybody when it came down to that shit.
Because that's what it's really boiling down to. Because now
Daniel Jones is happy about that shit.
Guess who got to get paid next year? I'm gonna tell you, got to get paid next year. Jalen Hurts, because he was a second-round pick. He was not a first-round pick, so he does not have a fifth-year option. Joe Burrow has to get paid next year.
He's going to get paid.
And Justin Herbert has to get paid next year. Guess what? Are you telling me right now if Cincinnati, and I know Joe Burrow said he's not going to cripple the franchise, but if Joe Burrow tell you right now, I ain't going to kill you,
but you better
I need $1 more than what Deshaun Watson got. Are you telling me Cincinnati's not going to give that man $1 more than what Deshaun Watson got? Stop playing with me right now.
Oh, they are going to give him whatever that he wants, and it's mainly going to be up to him to be like, I want you to sign Chase.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert.
No, I agree.
Has not.
I was talking about Burrow.
Anything. Are you telling me he's not going to get $1 more than Kyler Murray? Are you telling me?
I don't think Herbert's really earned that, but I mean, who knows? The quarterback price has changed. Man, it's changed like freaking crazy. Where people like Patrick Mahomes' contract looks great.
They're gonna give it to him because for the simple fact that one, his skin color, and two, because of the simple fact that they're gonna sit up there and say that he is a passing quarterback. Like Justin Herbert puts up these amazing numbers or something like that.
Daniel Jones is a running quarterback. He's got 40 million.
40 million.
I
still don't understand what the hell the Giants would think of a Daniel.
Hey, Sizzle, how you feel about them Bulls, man? I'm getting heated up, and I don't want to.
Sizzle, you want to hang around? Or do you
don't do that to me about the Bulls. Don't.
You want to head out there?
You did that you just want to start some mess.
No, I'm hot, man, because equity is one of the things that I love in sports because it's the purest thing. Like in business, a person can know somebody and I'll be more qualified and they get the job. Right. In sports, it should be based on what you do.
Should be.
And that's why I said, if like Ryan Poles, if somebody knows somebody, if Justin puts up numbers, pay him this year. Not
my question was, if you look at the restructured deal for Deshaun Watson, I'm looking at it right now. It was $36 million that was shifted. So this coming season, he's going to make 19.1. And then for 24, 25, and 26.
It's the escalate, right?
Yeah, it escalates. But then in 27, which is a voidable year, he gets 8.9. Which I don't know how that works. I don't know.
Gotta be bonus.
However this works, would it suit the Bears? And I'm just thinking about long term. Would you, if Justin has a decent year, because we talked about this, if everything goes off the rails, then you still got the pick this coming year with your pick, and maybe if you need to find another quarterback, you do that. But do you re-up with Justin now? If he has a good 23, do you re-up with him now before the cost gets out of control for you? Before it gets touching your.
Brought that up last week.
That's what we're talking about.
Now, as you're saying, I mean, the quarterback market, and it's sad we have to go melanated versus non-melanated players, but when you're looking at the numbers and you just break down the pure math of it, you're saying something's rotten in Denmark here. I'm seeing, if you give me a blind test and then there's A grouping and B grouping, and I'm looking at A grouping and you're saying these quarterbacks get this and then these quarterbacks get that, and you're saying, well, they're comparable. So why is there a difference in their pricing, or why is there a difference in their pay scale? If I'm the Bears, if I'm Ryan Poles, I think the most effective thing would be to sign him. If he has the good 23, you sign him and lock him up now. So you don't come to that situation where you have to pay him greater later.
Mm-hmm. Don't do the debt. Like, don't do it. And then when you move forward, and you literally see, okay, Year 3, the kid was pretty damn good. We're just putting more around him.
Yeah.
Now, remember what door number 2 was, Sizzle. He wets the bed. Then you got two number 1 picks. You go get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to go through door number 2 just yet, because door number 1 is looking so promising, and we see what the type of quarterback he can be. Give me, what do you have, 1,100? Give me 400 yards rushing, take that other 7, put it on the pass, and now we talk.
That's a great fucking year.
Now
and that's exactly what I said last week too. Like, I would want to try, if Justin comes out and has a great year, I would want to try to lock him up before Burrows and all those other quarterbacks and Hurts get that contract, because they're gonna reset the market for quarterbacks now. And I don't want 2 years down the road we giving Justin $55-60 million a year.
You heard it here first. The NFL money goes up. What we say about, I think the cap goes up another extra 20 to 26 mil, somewhere around there next year.
I think it's next year though, right? I think that's
2024, not 23.
Okay. Yeah, 2 years. All right.
I guarantee you heard it here first. I guarantee you, Justin Herbert's deal is bigger than Joe Burrow's. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
That would be an absolute Chargers mistake.
You know why?
Exactly.
You know why? Because Joe Burrow doesn't need to set the market. He's played 3 years. He's been to 2 AFC championships and 1 Super Bowl.
He wants to win.
He wants to win, so he's going to defer because he wants to keep a team around. Herbert is like, I have an idiot coach. I might as well get paid.
Baby Yoda's telling you, man.
It's not equal, but that's the way the math is trending. Think about it.
No, you're 100%. This is why Aaron Rodgers didn't win. Aaron Rodgers won 1. He won 1.
50, something like that.
50.
Like, and he went. Granted, that's a little different because that's like a career service goal type thing. Like, he's been whatever. But at the same time, when I look at somebody like, full transparency, the Russell Wilson deal, what, like are people, they're more mad at that than the Daniel Jones deal. I'm like, wait a minute. Russell Lee has won a Super Bowl, been to 2. Daniel Jones barely made it to the playoffs. Like, what are we talking about? And you mad at Russ? Like, stop it. Stop it, people. Stop it. Like, I wasn't going to go there. I had to, because it makes no sense. And I can foresee us being in a similar position within the next year or 2 with the Bears and Justin as Lamar and the Ravens are now. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, no, I said it last year, and I still go with that. Last week, I wouldn't mind if they locked him up this year, because if they lock him up this year, he still has to play out his 4-year contract though.
Well, no, it doesn't kick in until the following year.
Okay.
It resets a year after.
It resets a year after. Okay. It would definitely still get 1 more year. Like, you don't see value in it? Like, what are we talking about? Like, yeah. But I digress.
I thought we were going. Were we
We were going to get ready to get Bulls talk, but Sizzle tried talking us out of it.
No, I'm just trying to keep it peaceable, and that it's going to be. I don't know why you want to make me. I was living a happy life until you just. We're going to. Okay. AC, can I borrow Baby Yoda for a meeting tomorrow? I'm definitely going to use Baby Yoda tomorrow for this meeting.
He might be available tomorrow.
He said, yeah.
Yeah, we do really talk a little bit about
this. He's available for tomorrow. Oh, yeah, he's using it for us.
And then he laughs his ass off about it. It was more of like it sounded more of like he farted and then he just decided to laugh about it.
Hey, why am I getting Gizmo vibes though? Like Mogwai. So Sizzle, go on and kick it off, man. I'm throwing the lob to you.
All right, gentlemen. Since we're looking at the Chicago Bulls, we're looking at a team that, they're headed for the playoffs. They're doing amazing things. Now Patrick Beverly's there. They are on their way. And then it was all going great when they jumped on a Portland team that was horrible. But then the Clippers came in and mollywopped them and slapped them back into reality. So, gentlemen, are we looking at a team that just likes to showboat with good pieces and tell you they're good, but they really suck? Or is the Bulls team really going somewhere? Because actually I think they're going nowhere. And my radio partner wants to steal Patrick Williams' shoes and throw them into the river.
Oh, wow.
All right. I mean, I'm gonna say this, and I said it for Eddie Jackson for last year, even though Terrence still won't agree to this. I think Patrick Williams is having a very good year. Better year than expected because he's being more aggressive. That's what I like. He's taking his shots. He's attacking the basket. I laughed my ass off when he tried to dunk on Rudy Gobert. I don't even care that he didn't get it. I love the fact that he tried.
They tried.
It made me feel so good when he did that. So I'm giving him his props this year. And I said it last year, All-Star break, and I'm still saying it now. As much as I love DeMar DeRozan, this team plays better all-around basketball when DeMar DeRozan is not on the court because the ball moves around.
Does this team play better with just not DeMar, or does it play better without DeMar and with Zach LaVine because you still get the same production? I know my son's going to see this and think that I still hate Zach LaVine, which I don't. I hate what's going on, and I hate the play, and I hate where his plus minus is when it comes to the Bulls.
Agreed.
And so the question I have, and it's not when Jay Sizzle brings it up, is not if Patrick Williams can play. Obviously, he can play. Was he worth the fourth pick? That's yet to be seen.
It's a no as of right now. Still.
3 years in, it's a no. He's got the
It's an absolute no.
Well, I would say I'll give him one more year because by year 5, we know exactly what you are and who you are in the league. But the bigger question is Patrick Williams even playing the right position?
No, he's not.
If he's not in the right position, then how do we evaluate if he's a good player? Not because he's not playing where he should be. Maybe that's where DeMar DeRozan needs to be moved on, or you got to come up with a better system of how this works instead of trying to put Patrick Williams on everybody in the post and make him defend everyone. The question is really, are the Bulls are they at the crossroads, or are they really in basketball hell? That's the bigger question.
Well,
it's a good question.
The thing about it is this.
It's a great question.
You gotta sit up there and look at the front office. AK. I told people when he first got hired, I was gonna wait to see before I judge him, just like I said the same thing about Ryan Poles. What's this, his third or fourth year with the Bulls? Third year. He ain't looking good. He's failing. He's not looking like the guy that we thought that we were getting from Denver, the guy that can sit up there, that can recognize talent and do what it is or what it's going to take to make this team to be a consistent playoff contender and even a championship contender. First off, you fucked up. You picked Pat Williams. That was his pick, right?
That was his first pick.
That was his first pick.
Fucked up. You picked Pat Williams. You took him before he should have been taken. Second, your second fuck up. I'm not gonna say the Vooch trade. I was fine with the Vooch trade. Your second fuck up was sitting up there hiring Billy Donovan
and extending Billy Donovan.
Yeah, and this is an extension that nobody knows how many fucking years, how much fucking money. Nobody knows any of that.
Undisclosed.
So this shit is undisclosed right now. As far as I'm concerned, that son of a bitch ain't got an extension. because nobody knows the terms of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, when you come and look at the roster that you're going to put together, you got Vooch, great offensive player. We all know his weakness is defense. He can go inside and out. He's one of the best low post players in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
He can shoot three defensively. He's not a shot blocker. He's not a guy that's going to sit up there and take on too many big men. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to sit up there and bring a fucking big man
Taj Gibson
alongside of him to sit up there to
compliment, support,
grab some rebounds, be able to run the floor, be able to block the shots. That's how you complement his weakness. You haven't done that in the 3 fucking years you've been here. Then you go and grab DeMar DeRozan. It was nice at first until DeMar started doing what he did at Toronto until he got into San Antonio where Pop wasn't playing that shit. You know, DeMar DeRozan is nothing but Carmelo Anthony.
Good example.
Without the range. You know what I'm saying?
No argument here.
He's a better mid-range shooter. He's not a better long-range shooter. He can take you off the dribble. He can go one-on-one. That motherfucker can't play. That motherfucker can't guard his own shadow. That motherfucker is terrible. My damn daughter, who was 17 years old in high school, she'll blow past his ass because he doesn't play no defense.
And that also hurts a lot when you were bringing up the Zach LaVine plus minus. It's not always Zach LaVine's players that are getting those pluses.
Nah.
It's a lot of DeRozan's type players who are getting
a lot of that goes on Billy Donovan's defense as well, because 100%. If you notice, the fucking Bulls switch every fucking thing.
And they switch everything.
They switch everything. So, of course, people's pluses and minuses are going to look fucking terrible when you go on and sit up there and got Zach LaVine or a fucking point guard on a fucking center. Then, also, another thing that's hurting, AK, you went out and you signed Lonzo Ball. Some bitch look like he ain't gonna play for 2 years and a half. Because they talking about he may miss all of next year. Matter of fact, I saw something.
That's the last year of his contract.
Yeah, I saw something where.
Damn, that's 4 years already?
Nah, shit, this is his third year about to come up.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, his third year is about to
come up. That went real quick, didn't it?
Yeah, it goes quick when you're not playing.
Yeah, it goes quick when your ass ain't played. So when you sit up there and you think about that with the Lonzo Ball, this surgery that he's getting, there's been a couple players that have gone and had it, and they've gone and retired within a year. They came back and played, and they retired within that year.
That would be Brandon Williams and Maurice Stoudemire, right?
No,
Tyreek Evans was the only one who successfully came back and played. Who's been able to come back to the league and play. But the other players who've had this, the biggest question with Ball now is he ever going to play in the league again? Yeah. And if that's the case, how do you recoup and recover that money that you paid him for next year? Because I saw someone in the chat just put up, you got to pay Io. Okay, so do you pay Io, somebody you picked up in the second round, or do you pay your first round pick that's now coming into his own and might be your starting point guard in Kobe White next year? There are a lot of things that AK has done that's put this team. The only good thing that could come out of this is that somehow they get that draft pick back from Portland, and they're able to at least salvage a season, because at this point, you're in purgatory. There's nowhere else you can go. Yeah. You're stuck. You're based in contracts. So what if you let Vooch go? Then what? Okay, now you still got to sign Io. You still got to sign Kobe White. You still got to figure out what you're going to do with Vooch. And to that point, none of them are going to be better. They're going to be a year older. Everybody on that squad is going to be a year older.
Then you got to pick up the player option. Year 4.
So what do? And you have no superstar sitting on that bench. You have no greatness sitting on that bench. It's like the NFL. The championships for the NBA are very simple. They've only run through like 3 teams in the last 10 years. So if you don't have a predominant player, what you're going to fool around is you're going to have a team like Detroit You're going to look up, and the Pistons are going to be molly-whopping you for the next 5-10 years because now they got boys sitting on top of boys. They got more players there in Detroit now than they even know what to do with them. And now you get a Cade Cunningham back. So you got Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. Now you got Wiseman. You got a team there with boys. You can move around. The Bulls have no young pieces. The Bulls don't even have a quality four-man. They don't have a good power forward.
They haven't had the power forward since fucking AK has taken over. That's been the power forward and the point guard position have been killing the fucking Bulls the last 2 fucking years. That damn point guard position been killing their ass since fucking Derrick Rose left. So they have no power forward. They got the center, but they don't have the fucking power forward to complement the center. And this is where he has gone and failed as a GM. You go on and sit up there. Now you come like you sit up there said, Vooch is a free agent. After this year, DeMar DeRozan a free agent. Kobe White, which I like to call Mr. Inconsistent, because that's the only thing.
Well, he's this year.
He's been inconsistent this year.
I'm saying after this year, you got to make a decision.
Yeah, that's what I'm sitting up there saying. He's been consistent at being inconsistent. You should have moved him at the deadline because there's no way I'm bringing Kobe White back. Not for the money that he wants or the money that
that's going to be the question. Is you need a 3-point shooter, and he is still I don't even know if he's your best 3-point shooter. I probably would say Zach LaVine is probably a better 3-point shooter than he is right
Zach
now.
LaVine is your best 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Kobe,
one of the best 3-point shooters in the league.
Kobe White is best served as your 6th man, in my opinion.
Yes.
Or 7th. More likely 7. Because he's too goddamn inconsistent to be the fucking 6th man. Now, don't get me wrong. When a son bitch hot, he hot. But goddamn it, when he's cold,
he's awesome.
Motherfucker freezing. So you want to be careful with making sure that you don't sign or extend him to the point that you're going to be stuck with his ass because you ain't going to be able to move. Then, like you said earlier, Sizzle, you're not going to see what Pat Williams could do until DeMar DeRozan is gone. And it's unfortunate.
Agreed. I agree with that. Which is why I'd be fine trading him.
He's become more aggressive, but he can't be the player that we want him to be or possibly think that he could be as long as DeMar DeRozan is there.
Let me ask y'all this about him in Donovan's system. Take AK out for the moment because I'm on record of saying I wanted Tyrese Halliburton. And y'all have been seeing. Come on, Sizzle. I done said it, and I will stand on this hill and die by myself. You wanted a point guard. We've been clamoring. The Bulls have said for the last 3, we need a point guard. We need a point guard. Tyrese Halliburton was right there. Y'all let Sacramento get him, and now he got traded to Indiana, and now he's looking like all world. The thing about Patrick Williams, 6th man at Florida State, they tabbed him being Kawhi Leonard-esque. When you come and you see him playing an undersized power forward position, that means one or two things. Either your coach is twice as dumb as shit, or your GM is twice as dumb as shit. Well,
in this case, they're both dumb as shit.
All of them is twice as dumb as shit. Because here's the thing. His numbers, remember, he got hurt last year. He played, 20 games? No, I think it was like 18. It was in the teens. I forgot. The year before that, he had a solid rookie year. But if you look at his numbers, it's like 9, 9, and 10. He's giving you what he's giving you. Nothing has changed because you haven't altered your positions. Mm-hmm. All you've done is move him from starter to bench. I watched the whole Laker game. DeMar DeRozan started at the 4. Pat Williams came off the bench against the Lakers. A must-win game for both teams. But it's like, hey, if I'm going out, I need all my dogs 1 through 5. We got the roll. Now, granted, the Bulls won. DeMar actually passed the ball.
DeMar played good. LaVine played good. The whole team played good.
They played very well.
But, at the same time, I think the Bulls would have blew him out if Vooch didn't get ejected.
But they actually played.
So
No. I won't say that because they had 2 20-point leads that they lost. So we can't say that they wouldn't have done that.
Which is something that they do.
They do
a lot of teams do that though. Because it runs in basketball.
Not like the Bulls.
Yeah,
not like the Bulls. I will admit that for sure.
Billy Donovan doesn't know when to. For one, he doesn't know when to use his timeouts. For two, hey, DeMar, you done shot 7 straight times, man, and airball 3 of them. Come over here, man. Have a seat. Come talk to coach. It's okay. We'll get you back in. But right now, we got to figure this out. I don't want to see Derrick Jones Jr. guarding Anthony Davis type players no more. It's just dumb.
He loves his small ball lineups.
But then you lose Vooch, but then you don't even play Andre Drummond 20 minutes. Like, what are we doing?
Man, I saw a stat that was crazy.
Jeremy, I'll coach the damn team.
Andre Drummond
for half the deal.
Out there and he played 8 fucking minutes. In 8 fucking minutes, this son of a bitch had like 7 points and 6 rebounds. I said, what the fuck? In 8 fucking minutes, he got 7 points and 6 fucking rebounds. You only want to play him, man, a high of 14 fucking minutes a game.
It's usually between 14 and 18 minutes. You want to play it.
I haven't seen him play over 20 yet.
Overrated ass fucking coach.
We'll bring up the Lakers situation again too, because when Vooch got ejected, he still only played 18 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. I have not seen him play over 20. Maybe once that I remember when he had that double early. I think that was against Philly. They lost, but he was like 9 or 10 and was but I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, hey man, your grit and your grind, he giving it to you.
Yeah. I don't get what like how many times I have to sit up there and hear him go like, oh yeah, we wanted to play matchups. So, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, 2 huge big guys, we wanted to put 2 small guys on them, to kind of even it out. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, what the?
Next time you hear grown folks talking, shut the fuck up here.
That's what should have happened.
That's what I think of every time he speaks.
Hey, Frank, you are so 1,000% correct. When I'm watching the game, LeBron didn't even start. LeBron came off the bench, man. And
because I know you ready to get something in.
Yeah, top of the bench. I don't mean to keep talking, Susan, because we talk, and I'm passionate about this, and we're the 10th seed right now. 10th. What are we going to do? We're going to win a game to lose?
If you lost Vooch, but you still got a player sitting on your bench that can come in and replace Vooch and do what he does and do it better because he's a defensive person, I don't see where, you've taken a loss. But if you lose Vooch, you lose something financially. But here's the killing part about this whole Bulls scenario is that you lost Lauri Markkanen. And everybody in Chicago thought he was terrible, he was trash, he was garbage, he was poo-poo. Now, this kid is tearing up the league in Utah. Maybe he found his people out there. Maybe he found his mojo, his groove, his thing. But now, the power forward you really need that you drafted is sitting in Utah. And you have no hope. At least he's young. Everybody else, Vooch, DeMar, and even Zach is getting up there. He's 27, 28. Yeah. So now you have no young team. You have nothing to fall back on. And you have a coach that, I'm sorry, has he won something since he left Florida? Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe in Oklahoma City, I didn't know did they win anything?
No.
People give him false credit. They think he's the one that brought them to the finals. That was Scott Brooks.
That was before him.
That wasn't Billy Donovan. And he had a declining year in OKC until the Chris Paul year where Chris Paul brought him to the playoffs.
Well, like I said, the problem with the fucking Bulls is simple. It's the fucking coach. The GM, if you got a GM is going to sort of be like your boss. Your boss is going to sit up there. They're going to allow you to do your fucking job. If you need something, you need some pencils, papers, or assistant or something like that, the boss is going to go out there and get that for you. Because he's going to trust you to do your fucking job. Donovan has not done his fucking job. The reason why Lori is over there in fucking Utah killing, because Lori's not stuck on the fucking side shooting fucking threes. Or
actually running
out
an
there in
offense.
the corners shooting fucking threes on top of the fucking key shooting a fucking three. Because you know who's starting to do a lot of shit that Lori Marketing is doing? Vooch. I guarantee you, if you see Vooch go somewhere else,
They'll light it up again.
Vooch is going to fucking be going on the inside, killing, doing what he does in the inside, fucking taking his foot shots, his little jump shots. He'll step out there on a corner or step out there behind the three-pointer every now and then and hit a couple fucking shots. He's not going to be regulated to sitting up there fucking shooting jump shots and setting fucking screens. If you know the man has footwork and got a fucking post game, and when the game is getting out of
great footwork,
throw the fucking ball down there to him.
And
but we're
slow
still setting
the
them up
game down.
high pick and rolls.
Well, no, they do high pick and pop, which is why he was at one point he was averaging 7 threes a game. Like, why is my starting center shooting 7 threes?
And then we're wondering why we can't get any offensive rebounds because we don't have a power forward down there either.
Oh yeah, hey, foul mouth. He's our height. He's 6'4". Javonte Green.
Yeah, I know.
And he's playing power forward.
Yeah,
at times.
And it just goes to show you. You see Lori Marketing, what he's doing now. No one never sat up there and said that Lori Marketing didn't have talent. He can put the ball on the floor for a guy that's 7 foot. He can shoot the ball. He's athletic as hell for a fucking 7-footer. But the thing was, you had a dumbass coach who's still a dumbass coach that didn't know how to fucking utilize it.
You saw as soon as he went to Cleveland. As soon as Lori went to Cleveland, you saw him play like he did at Arizona.
Man, they put the son of a bitch at small forward. That just shows you his versatility. You had a fucking 6'11" center. You have a 7-foot fucking power forward, and then you had a 7-foot fucking small forward. And tell you the truth, they were scaring a lot of fucking teams with the way they were fucking playing. A lot of teams didn't want to play them motherfuckers when you got legitimately 3 7-footers out there. That's a lot of ground to cover, and it's going to be hard to get that ball up over there. So you saw how he's doing. Now he's over there at Utah. Hell, even Chris Dunn is fucking over there at Utah playing.
Yeah, you right.
Is he over there? I was wondering where the hell he went.
Yes. It's the Chicago curse. No matter where the fuck you go, you play fucking better than you fucking did here because you got a bunch of dumbass idiots led by our fucking owner, Mr. the one and only Jerry Reisendorf.
All this stuff about Michael
and all
Jordan,
his dumbass cronies that he sits up there. Now, don't get me wrong. Jerry has loyalty to a fault. I can't always talk negative about Jerry because Jerry has gone and brought us some championships, and I'm very grateful for that. But sometimes, Jerry, you just need to get rid of some of these dumb motherfuckers, people that actually sit up there that don't know shit about fucking basketball. Because you tend to hire these motherfuckers. I don't know where the fuck you get them from. Who the fuck gives you your fucking advice? But quit fucking taking it.
It's a fortune cookie.
Hey Frank, scroll up.
Fortune cookie.
Scroll up. I want to answer Jeremy Bowman's question. He said, "Who would you realistically have coaching this team if Donovan got let go?"
Mark Jackson.
Okay, all of us get a pick. Okay, you pick Mark Jackson. Who you got, Frank?
I would take him too.
Sizzle.
Ime Udoka.
Well,
I see you've been reading my memoirs. Because I look at what Udoka did with a Celtic team in a similar situation. A lot of heavy star power, big 3, big 4-ish. Man, he did something that Brad Stevens couldn't do. He took them boys to the finals.
Yeah. Since I don't want to take exactly the same one foul off, so I'll even throw out Frank Vogel.
Well, Vogel quit. Remember, Vogel. No, I'm sorry. They mutually parted ways technically.
The mutual shit, yes.
But if so, here's the thing. I'm gonna just put out there. If you look at how Bogle coached, Bogle didn't really like.
He didn't like LeBron James.
Under the bus. It is what it is. But if I had to have somebody else,
Westbrook.
But if I had to have somebody else that wasn't available, if you look at what this coach did with Brooklyn a couple years back, I gotta look at Kenny Atkins, man.
Atkinson too, yeah.
I gotta look at him because he literally got more with less. Not saying that they were like trajecting towards the finals, but they played hard, made proper adjustments. He played defense, and he knew the value of slowing the ball down. Like it was like Spencer Dinwiddie and like Bruce Brown, and they were balling.
Well,
and they let that man go. I'm like, wow.
I picked Mark Jackson just off of the strength that the fucking Golden State Warriors wouldn't be the Golden State Warriors if it wasn't for Mark Jackson. I don't give a fuck that Steve
created it. Yeah, he
I don't give a fuck that. All what happened was they replaced fucking Mark Jackson and brought in Steve Kerr, and they won a fucking championship. That's it. They would have won a fucking championship with fucking Mark Jackson. Because remember, Mark Jackson didn't give up on Steph Curry when Steph Curry had them badass fucked up ankles.
Yeah.
He sit up there and he got that squad to where they were. That's why I would have sit up there and I would have took Mark Jackson. I would have picked Mark Jackson. Yeah, he said some fucked up shit. Who hasn't said some fucked up shit? You know? But y'all so quick to give other motherfuckers a chance, but y'all don't want to give him a chance, huh? Good old. I don't give out of the cage.
In Utah, they have Will Hardy, right?
Yeah.
Now,
I was going to say that to Quinn Snyder.
Yeah. Did anybody think Will Hardy is going to be or should be a great coach in the league? See, where I'm circling back to is now we're finding, just as we're watching the tournament, some of your better coaches are not the names that you think they are. You've got a tournament now full of no number one seeds. Mm-hmm. You've got a tournament with some young men who have heart, hustle, and muscle. In fact, and again, shout out to the Gary product that is taking the league by storm in Florida Atlantic. Nobody even knew where Florida Atlantic was. They just knew they knew that the coach was out there. It's Florida. That's what I thought. But, you know, now they say they're Florida Atlantic University. So I'm going to go with it. If you want to be a university, God bless you. But you got to find somebody who can work with this high-end talent that the Bulls have. And not all high-end talent is going to get you to where you're going to go. Because, see, to your point, you had James Wiseman sitting in Golden State who looked like he should be escorted out of the league by armed security. Now he's in Detroit. I think the last 5 games he's put up 5 double-doubles. I mean, so the kid had some kind of skill. I don't know, he might have had a little bit. And maybe somebody like a Penny Hardaway might be better in the pros than in college. But you got to find somebody who's got to know how to say, we've got to work this system. If everybody keeps telling you that the Bulls offense run through their center, and he should be the one that kind of initiates everybody because he's got the good feet. He knows how to pass. He can get the ball to whoever needs to get the ball, and he can see over everybody else, and he can get into the lane and then do what he has to do. Don't you think that'd be a good idea? You don't think it's a good idea to have somebody to utilize their best strengths other than to put somebody on the corners and just say, hey, shoot from the long, shoot from the short. And let's see what's going to get us.
Well, let's see how much of an arrogant asshole he is. Because everybody said it, from the national pundits to the local media to the fucking fans. Hell, probably even the fucking Benny the Bull and the motherfucker sitting behind him have gone and told him, dumbass, run the offense through the fucking center. When you run the offense through the fucking center, you win games. When you don't, it's just that fucking simple. It really is. But, you know, and when you're talking about these teams that made the tournament, you know what it is? A lot of those guys that's on those teams, those are players that want it. Those are guys that sit up there that they were always overlooked when they were in high school. They are the guys that got that grit. They weren't giving shit. These other prima donna ass one and done motherfuckers, they don't know shit. That's why they ass sitting at fucking home. Because this generation is a generation of privilege. They feel like they should be given everything. Kiss their ass. The coach don't like me. Oh, I'm gonna go transfer. Well, take your little punk ass out of here and go transfer. You little soft ass chump. I don't want you on my fucking team anyway. I'd much rather have a guy that's gonna come in this gym, bust his ass, and give me everything that he fucking got than to sit up there and deal with your prima donna ass. Get the fuck out of my gym.
Amen.
And I salute every one of them teams that's in that Final Four that's not a number one.
Florida Atlantic, baby.
I salute you. And I watched that game when they played Kansas State. That was a good-ass game.
They play good basketball.
That was a good game. You want to see a good tournament game. That Florida Atlantic KSU game was a great game.
Yeah.
And it's all outside of the Connecticut game where it was just a mollywhopping. You didn't see that one coming as badly. But the tournament has been really good. But it's to your point, see, these are guys who want to play. They want to be there. And some of them are real seniors. Some of them have been there. Some of them know how to play.
They're real seniors.
They're real seniors. They know how to play the game. They know when the temperature and check the temperature. So, Frank, to go back to your question originally, how this whole thing started. When you look at the Bulls, at this point, getting to the 9th seed or being in the 10th seed doesn't get you any further if you're the Chicago Bulls right now. Because what's going to end up happening is it's going to be a wash, rinse, and repeat with them. Mm-hmm. They do the same thing next year. They're going to be around 500 because they got the talent to keep them in it. They're not going to get blown out because of the talent, but you're going to have to make some hard decisions again. I know you don't want to go through a rebuild. So if you don't want to go through another rebuild, then you're going to have to get a better coaching staff. The general manager, the president ain't going to fire themselves. So the first person that can be fired, the quickest person, is the head coach and his staff. Mm-hmm. And you got to get somebody into the Bulls who can say, I know where to put Zach, DeMar, how to play Vooch. And oh, by the way, we're going to go and find a point guard somewhere. We're going to find a capable one. He may not be great, but at least he can dictate what goes on the floor of this game.
Just playing. I'd take Pat Bev at my point right now over what we have. I would take.
We don't have one. That's the point.
Yeah, you're gonna need something a little bit more than Pat Bev. Don't get me wrong. I love Pat Bev, Chicago's own. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna
He's playing better than I thought.
Yeah, you're going to need a guy that can do a little bit more than Pat Bev. Pat Bev would be a great guy to come off the bench.
Yeah, but you're not getting that right now. That's the problem. There's not one out there right now.
And I want to say this. I know it's going to invoke a lot of tough talk and hard words. I think Ayo is a good player, and I think he's a good young man. Mm-hmm. But to ask him to come in to try and direct this menagerie of players, it wasn't going to work. He's a kid. They're almost old enough to be his daddy. There's no way he was going to run this team. And he's not. He was never asked in high school. He wasn't asked at Illinois. He's not a pure point guard. So if you're going to get a point guard, go get a real point guard. You've seen what pure, even if you have to go get a kid that's 5'7", 5'8", that's coming out the tournament, you find you a point guard. You want this thing to get back on track, you got to get you a point guard. Hey, there's a Chris Dunn out there. There are other guys out there you can get. But you got to get you somebody who can run this show. And Pat Bev is good coming off the bench. Alex Caruso is good coming off the bench. But you've got to find you a starting point guard, and you got to find an athletic Taj Gibson. I think you might bring back Taj. But you got to find a point guard and a power forward that can do all the things that you don't have right now, and then you might have a chance at winning. But at this point, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be a bunch of mess with the Bulls until somebody figures that out.
I want to add one more point to what you just said, Cesar. It is a sham and a travesty that on our coaching staff, as the first assistant to the head coach, we have a gentleman by the name of Maurice Cheeks, Chicago's own. Top 5, if I'm not mistaken, an NBA all-time leader in steals. He's either top 3, top 5, whatever. But we can't play any defense. Because
Actually, they're one of the better defensive teams right now.
No. Listen to me. We're defensive until we lose leads. There's a defense. If you look at the old Bulls regime, the old Bulls regimes didn't lose 20-point leads. Donovan is like, work the system. Cheeks is like, tighten up the defense. Hold on the timeouts. 22-point lead turns into 7. Now I call my first timeout. Maurice Cheeks is on the sideline looking like, I ain't got nothing to say. I done told this mother. I done told him.
Yeah. Well,
you can, if you watch the side, you can literally see it. Like, he's like, dude.
I also feel DeMar DeRozan is a huge part of that blowing leads too, though, because when you're struggling on the offensive side, he plays iso ball. That's all he does. He gets double teamed. He turns it over. He puts up brick shots when he gets double teamed sometimes. He tries to do too much when the other team is going on runs, and that kills them as well.
But that's where the defense comes in from coaching, because if we're cold and you stifle the run, then now we're trading empty baskets.
But you also got to realize that we don't have those defensive pieces.
No, but that's the thing. Well, you're not going to have it when you have Ayo and Kobe White in your backcourt at the same time.
It don't even matter then, because if you had Ayo and Kobe White, if you got people still attacking the hole, but you got no fucking rim protector, it doesn't matter.
That part, yes. But if you watch and just go back to Sunday, if you watch the Laker game when they took the lead, decreased the lead, Pat Beverly and Alex Caruso turned up the defense, not just on ball, but intangibles. Look how many charges they took. Like, that's telling you right there. We're losing leads. Put that unit in so we can coast, so we can maintain some defensive integrity.
But you
slow the game down.
But the thing is this: the NBA is always going to be a game of runs. Players are not allowed to play defense like they used to back in the day,
because you can't touch people.
Right. So you can't really touch people. So you're going to expect the team to sit there and go on a run and get close. You're going to expect your team to sit there and get cold, because the thing that you can't do is you can't go out there and try to put in an all defensive team and then sit up there and they can't score worth shit, because players today are too damn good. They're going to fucking score. They're going to sit up there and make a run. But I see what you're saying as far as with the defense. They have been playing great defense. Actually, they've been one of the better defensive teams.
They've been number one since Patrick Beverly.
Pat Beverly got there. Yes.
Yeah. So they've been playing defense, but at the end of the day, you expect the team to make a run because the players are too good. But you have to counter that by also sitting up there being able to slow the ball down, throw it down to your big man, and let him go to work. They don't do that. Billy Donovan wants to keep running out there, and he wants to keep throwing that small ball lineup, getting his ass out rebounded. They can't play no fucking defense.
Transition defense is what saved them against the Lakers, actually.
Yeah, and if you're playing small ball, you need to move the ball. You need to
exactly. Don't come bringing the motherfucker up.
They are one of the worst teams. They are one of the worst teams in the NBA this year. Bottom 3.
As far as in pace,
fast-paced points.
Yeah,
that's not acceptable when you play fucking small ball.
Imagine.
Yeah,
that's not acceptable when you play small ball.
Yeah, because they got a player in DeMar DeRozan that doesn't want to fucking sit up there and run the floor. Yeah, he doesn't. But this was young DeMar, where he had his hops and shit. He didn't mind running the floor. This motherfucker just want to sit up there and walk up. But
I said this too when they beat Philly. It was a great game when they beat Philly. But one thing that irritated the shit out of me was you had 18 total fast break points when you are playing against fucking Embiid, who does not run the floor. You need to keep him running and wear him the hell out. They didn't do that at all.
That's why they needed to play Drummond, because Drummond
Yeah.
gonna run up and down that fucking floor.
Yeah, and he'll bulldoze your ass over.
Yeah, he did.
I love what Drummond has done. I wish he can get more minutes, and I understand managing his time, but when you need him,
like he hurt.
when you need him, and you need him to be out there, you can't manage shit. When Vooch goes out, there's no excuse why he shouldn't have averaged at least 22, 24 minutes that game, and should have played in the fourth quarter. He did not play the last 8 minutes of the game.
That's true. Well,
yeah, we gotta get this.
Yeah, this has been a good one. Hey, we're gonna get to shout outs. Sizzle, you on with us today, baby? We're gonna go ahead and let you lead the shout outs, man. Go ahead and give a shout out to whoever it is you want to.
Well, listen, man, let me give a shout out, big shout out to John L. Davis and Florida Atlantic. Those young men, as they go through the tournament, God bless them, man. I'm looking forward to seeing something I've never seen before. No true blue bloods in the finals, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And remember, if you're not watching us or listening, you can always find us, hashtag Iron Skillet 219. You can always find our content. And remember, if you're in the region, you can always hear us on Saturday evenings from 8 to 12 p.m. on WGVE 88.7 FM, where we give you all this good information and this good talk too. And we have guests on like JB Smooth, who just come in, the stats come in, man. He comes in and gives us everything we need. So I thank you, fellas, and I do appreciate, me just jumping on and giving some time.
Yeah. We really do. Thank you. Thank you for always coming on, man. We do appreciate that. Love. We always show the love, and you show the love back, baby. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll get with you sometime this week or over the weekend, Sizzle, and we'll set something up, because I wanted to get with you this past weekend, but I was sick all weekend. So, all right, I'll get the next shout outs. Big shout out to Loki. Happy having him back on as well, man. Like, he brings in a big crowd. We had a big crowd right from the get-go today. All his Mexican friends out there who are diehard Bears fans in Mexico. That's awesome when you got something like that. He's got a lot of supporters out there. Everyone else, like on the pod, Jeremy turned in pretty much almost the whole show. Jeremy, thanks. Appreciate that. Miss Sandra, always love having you on, the podcast mom. And one other, I don't know if it's really a shout out. I know Miss Sandra will probably yell at me for saying it's a shout out, but the Blackhawks lost again.
Oh,
that is now 2 games away from getting that best odds to land the number 1 spot in the NHL draft. And they have the next up and coming star hockey player coming out of this NHL draft. So as much as I'm not happy about it, that they're losing, but if they land this Connor Bedard, this 6-year bullshit rebuild that this GM said, just jump maybe to 2 if you land this guy, because there's so many pro athletes out there right now who said they want to come and play with him. We might be able to get some good players to come back and play, including one named Patrick Kane, who just randomly out of nowhere bought a $3.4 million house here in Illinois 2 weeks after he got traded to New York. So that's very interesting. He is killing it in New York, so shout out to you too, Kane. All those dumbass New York fans who were tearing you apart because you had a bad first 2 games, and then now they're saying you're their savior. So freaking morons in New York. Sorry if I got anybody on New York on here. You guys can keep chiming in. Other than that, all you guys, T-Nick, still praying for you, man. Hopefully we'll get you back on soon, but you take your time, man. All you guys, love all having on here Tuesday. Our good old baby Force down there too, chiming in now with his laughs every time JB talks. It's pretty funny. Love you too, buddy. Love you too. All right, that's everything I got though.
JB.
You all have pretty much said everything, with the exception, bear with me because you know how we do. Shout out to Loki. and all that Loki brought to the show. Shout out to G Sizzle and all that you brought to the show. My brother, it is always a pleasure to have you on. When we get to talking, as you look at the timer, we just get to flowing and vibes and make sense. And to me, that's what good sports talk is. It's not a matter of making you feel my point. It's a matter of getting points felt from all, And we've had a lot of good insight, a lot of good perspective. So I want to thank you for coming on. Short notice, I know you popped on. I was like, "Oh, Sizzle, come join on." But we love and appreciate you. Thank you for coming on. Now the chat, man, oh man, oh man. I mean, everything from Carlos Rocha to Neil Pazuela, Hector Smith, Lucy Sanchez, Shadowblade, Alejandro Lopez, David. We had Renee Garcia. We had Scott Hopkins chimed in. Alberto Valdez chimed in, bear down with the 17,000 members. Really love having you all on. Juanita Motti checking in. Jeremy, like you said, Ant Stewart, one of our P1s, checking in. We also had Bear Mysterio. First time I've heard that.
First time I've heard it.
At
first, I thought it was Barlissimo at first when I was reading it, but then
Bear Mysterio, like it was the Rey Mysterio, the WWE with the Bears Joan on. I was like, man, I like it. I like it. Hey, real talk. I know we give the Lions a lot of crap. Hey, shout out to Don Byrne.
For sure.
Don Byrne
shit on here, man.
Blue Lions fan. And like I told you all before, that's my pick to win our division right now because they got something rolling over there. So shout out to Don Berman. We appreciate you checking in. As always, I already mentioned my man, Ant Stewart. We have Sevius R. Dixon that chimed in. Thank you. Sevius was on fire for a good span. My man, Brandon Morgan, coach, Leo High School, right here in Chicago. Right here. Leo is a factory. And we got one of their coaches chiming in. Shout out to Brandon Morgan and the Leo Catholic High School program. Love and appreciate you being on. I saw Brooke Violet, our very own Brooke, chiming in. She came in. My brother from another, Bullets, chiming in. Hey, when I tell you when we get greater later, it just kept going and going and going. And last but not least, and definitely most dear to me, shout out to the podcast mom, my mom. Love you, Miss Sandra. Thank you. If we don't have anybody but one guest on, I know it's her. So shout out to her. Shout out to the family, any cousins, relatives, aunties, uncles, whatever have you. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for looking. Thank you for lurking. Shout out to SB. All y'all love. And that's all I got.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough act to follow. First of all, I want to give a shout out to G Sizzle. Thank you, brother, for coming on. Appreciate it, baby. I always love anytime you come on. It's great to talk sports with you guys, and that's the good thing about it. Like JB said, talking sports with guys where you guys got similar likes, you got some disagreements, some things that you don't agree on, but it's good conversation, and that's what we're here for. They have good conversation, to listen to what people in the chat got to say, to comment off the chat, you know what I'm saying, and for you guys to give us ideas about, like you said, different people in the draft that we may not think that the Bears will actually have some type of interest in, So we love that as well. Shout out to the chat. The chat was live tonight. Shout out to our boy Loki coming all the way in from Mexico. You know what I'm saying? With all his people coming in too, we appreciate the love anytime he comes on. We love to have him on, wouldn't even mind coming on, being on his show a couple times. So damn sure appreciate the love. Shout out to Frank the Tank, my boy JB. I know T Nick, I know you probably back there watching or, doing something. We definitely are praying for you, man. Love you. Once again, my deepest condolences to you, to the passing of your father. Always. Wanted to send another shout out to to a guy that I've been knowing. I had known for over 10 years. I didn't get a chance because I wasn't on last week. My man J. Rowe,
Yes.
who left us last week. Been knowing the brother for 10 years. Played against him in football, and good down to earth brother. I always saw him every time. I had a hug and a laugh and talk some shit about how old we are and why the hell we still doing this shit. So damn sure gonna miss that brother. Shout out to his family. My prayers and condolences. Shout out to my homegirl Shimona. You know, that was her love. So shout out to her as well. Shout out to the kiddies that I know one of them is up because she's doing her hair. But the other two better be in bed. Oh, them phones is mine.
They're not on spring break?
Right. And shout out to everyone. Hey, remember to like and subscribe to the Chicago Clubhouse podcast, okay? YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all that shit. I don't know. We on a lot of shit. We on all of it, okay? I want to shout out to our sponsors. Hugh. Shout out to In the Zone, Under Armour, and JB. Who else we got? Moore's Beer. Shout out to you guys as well. Also, remember to check out my man, Grogu here. Check out, we got The Mandalorian. Comes out. You can catch him on Disney, on the Disney app now.
We're advertising him.
Disney Plus now.
You got to get his advertisement.
Matter of fact, this new episode should be coming out at 12 o'clock tonight. So
Yep.
check out my man Grogu. You know what I'm saying? Gotta love him. Shout out to my fiance. Mwah, baby, I love you. And shout out to my other daughters that should be in the bed asleep too, because they got school as well.
And don't forget,
I am done.
To like.
Here you said that.
Oh, I already said that. Yeah, I said to like and subscribe to the Chicago Clubhouse podcast. You damn right. Like this shit. Share this shit.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.
Good night, Kevin.